Hello.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here, Diddy Kong over there.
Fuck off.
Fuck on.
Okay.
That's Cirrus. It's not Diddy Kong. I know he's hairy enough to get away with cosplaying as Diddy Kong, but...
There we go. There we go. Now I can actually do things. And there we go. Yeah, I didn't have sound.
Did you finally beat the thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, when I said there we go is because I needed to resize my zoom because my zoom default settings did not work for some reason. And I don't know why.
I hate the way Zoom loads. It's one of those apps that, like, when I open it on my computer, it'll load everything in, and then I'll go put the mouse over the button that I want to click to start a new meeting. Then I click, and just as I'm clicking, it loads the rest of it in, which is like the sidebar stuff that I don't actually want, and everything moves, and oh, now I've clicked a schedule meeting button or something or whatever. I fucking hate it when, like, why, like, load everything where it is going to be when everything is finished loading, so that if I'm faster than your fucking program, I don't click the wrong thing.
Zoom is definitely not a good program on the face of it. It is a program that does what it needs to do, but it has not seen a single improvement for like the 6 years I've been using it.
Since it hasn't seen a single improvement since they had to improve something when they got hacked during the pandemic. Wyvern13 says, I Diddy his Kong.
Gross.
You guys missed it. I was just deep throating a popsicle as we were waiting for the countdown to finish. But Cirrus advised me that people will pay good money to see that, so don't do it on stream for free.
I'm also just suffering through Donkey Kong 1 because apparently the programmers of DK64 said that you need to beat the original Donkey Kong to beat this game.
Yeah.
There's just a certain madness involved in having that opinion.
I mean, games in the 90s were something else.
Yeah, it was a much more experimental time, and there are some...
The developers did not ever hold your hands.
There are some experiments that ought not be fucking repeated.
Yellow paint? What's that?
It's a thing that Green Lantern fears.
That it is. That it is.
But also, yeah, I'm kind of tired of... Like, I understand yellow paint as a game design trick is better than the previous game design trick that we used, which was just making the thing glow. I'm glad that we don't still make the thing glow. That was stupid.
Okay. There is something to be said for some amount of hand-holding. Now, to be fair, the example I'm about to give would have been completely solved if I was patient enough to actually like read through the tutorial shit.
Uh-huh.
But when on my first playthrough of Final Fantasy VII, I got stuck in the Sector 7 slums because I could not figure out where to go because the entrance zone for Eris House was like up in the top right underneath like an overhang thing that I didn't think looked like you could go under it. Now, had I paid attention to the fucking tutorial, I could have just pressed select and had a little red arrow hovering over all the loading zones. So I could have figured that out. But thankfully the internet did exist at this time, so after dialing up to it, and then waiting like 10 minutes for the 5 megabyte file to download, I did find a guide that told me where the entrance to the house was so I could get to the next fucking screen.
Yeah, that was one thing about old Final Fantasy VII, is that they didn't have confidence that the players would be able to find all the different like ends for the loading screens, and they're not wrong. There are players who just could not figure that shit out.
I gave it up and just didn't play it for like a month.
Also, Taco Cat says 90s games wasn't the original DK from 81, right? But you have to beat
he's playing
the original
it within DK64.
Yeah, you have to beat DK60. Like you have to beat Donkey Kong 1 in order to beat DK64. That's just a prerequisite for beating the game.
Nintendo has always liked to shove a fair bit of nostalgia into their games.
Yeah, but this wasn't so yes, this was a Nintendo product in the sense that this was a product that Nintendo sold, but this was not developed by Nintendo. This was developed by a British company.
Are you talking about DK64 or the original Donkey Kong?
Because it was made by Rareware.
Oh. Is it really a Rareware game?
Yeah, that's why it has Grant Kirkhope doing all the music. That's why it sounds like the Banjo game.
I don't fucking know who Grant Kirkhope is.
He's the guy who does all the music for Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, I never got into Banjo-Kazooie. No, my experience with Rareware is more along the lines of Golden Eye and Perfect Dark.
Well, that's why in Banjo-Kazooie, or Banjo-Tooie rather, there's an entire first-person shooter section. It has no business being in the game other than to remind people that, yes, Rareware did in fact make GoldenEye.
Yeah. That was a good game.
It was for its time.
Yeah. No, I'd go back and play it. I did not like the remake that they did on the Wii.
I never beat the Wii remake of it. I had it.
I think I got past the first level, and it was just like, oh, they have fundamentally changed this game away from what it was. And like, I don't know, I found it impossible to aim accurately with the Wiimotes.
Oh, that's just a skill issue.
Yeah, but it wasn't a skill issue that I was willing to put in the time to get better at.
So like it uses the same aiming system as the Conduit did. So you could also just play it with dual stick. Like that's just a thing that game allowed.
Yeah, and that's how I did play it, but I still never made it through the first level because it just didn't hold my attention.
Fair, I guess.
This is the thing. So we were talking offline. For those of you who may not be aware, I'm a massive Hollow Knight nerd, and I've been waiting for Silksong to release for years now. And on the official Team Cherry YouTube channel, they now have what looks like it's going to be a game trailer with a release date for Silksong after like 6 years of waiting. So I'm really, really excited for this. Because like Hollow Knight has held my attention for a long time. Like I just looked at my Steam stats for it. In Steam, I have over 800 hours in it, and I know on the Switch it stops counting after 400, and I got there. So I have at least 1,200 hours in this game over the last like 5-6 years. And so I'm really, really excited for Silksong. But what I am expecting to happen with Silksong is I'm going to buy it the day that it releases. I'm going to play it for a few hours. I'm going to be like, huh, yeah, it's a cool game, I guess, but the movement feels different, so I don't like it. Going back to Hollow Knight. Because that is how I game. This is the game that I like. I am used to this game. Do not change things.
Yeah, that's called autism.
I know. Shut up.
That's just called autism. I have a friend who has a similar thing where, like, so one of his favorite games of all time is Dark Souls, and whenever he plays another game, he goes, huh, that's different from Dark Souls. I don't like that. And I'm just, at a certain point, you just want to grab a person by the throat and just go, not every video game has to be the fucking same.
It does.
There are different video games that exist, and it is okay for them to exist.
So there's you need one platformer, one first-person shooter, one city-building game. What else do I play? I think that's pretty much it. That covers it. So yeah, that's all you need. Make it feel the same but look different. And I'll call it a new game, and that's great.
Why do I have to beat this twice? Wait,
you have to do it again?
Fuck, you do one to get a golden banana, which is like the main collectible in the game, and then you have to do it again to get the rare coin that's required for you to open up.
Oh my god, I remember Duke Nukem. Now, when you say Duke Nukem, are you talking about the original Duke Nukem for PC in the 90s? Because that was my Duke Nukem.
Which Duke Nukem are you referring to? The side-scrolling platforming Duke Nukem?
The 2D scroller.
Okay, yeah, the 2D scroller. Okay, that was not my Duke Nukem. My Duke Nukem was Duke Nukem 3D.
No, I never played that one. I played the 2D side-scroller one, and I had a lot of... I'm pretty sure I beat it. If I didn't beat it, I got to the last level. I remember thinking it was super cringe that he was like, oh, it's an earthquake, but we're on the moon. Can you really call it an earthquake on the moon?
I mean, that's just what Duke Nukem does, though. Like,
yeah, I know, but I hadn't really been reading the dialogue up to that point, so like I didn't even know that this level was supposed to be on the moon, so my thought process was, but that's not what the moon even looks like, though, so why would you call that the moon?
Okay.
So...
fair enough, I suppose. Anyway, Duke Nukem 3D is a good game. It's on the Switch.
Yeah, you know what's not on the Switch anymore? Me.
Yeah? Did you sell your Switch, or...?
No, I just don't have time for that shit. No, there are 4 Switches in this household, but I don't have time for that shit.
Okay, is it because you're too busy working, or is it because of the kids?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That makes perfect sense.
No, it's like I had the Switch that I played on, the family Switch. Heidi had her family Switch, and then 2 of my kids for Christmas one year got Switches for themselves, and so they each have their own personal Switch.
Ah.
And yeah, I will not be getting the Switch 2 anytime soon.
If I had the money for it, I'd be getting it so I could play Bonanza now that Bonanza's out. I really want to play Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Thank you for the hydrate, the cyber chill.
Especially since I keep seeing online people saying no spoilers, no spoilers. And when you say that, you inadvertently let me know there is something worth spoiling in the game. So I really want to play the game so I can enjoy whatever the no spoilers is about.
Yeah, so you know how I had this idea a while ago that I was going to use my Twitch channel to stream games at least sometimes. And what ended up happening was there were games that I was looking forward to that I would just be like, oh, I should stream like my raw reaction to this my first time playing through on Twitch. And then I would find myself just never doing it because I'm like, yeah, no, I feel I have a little bit of time right now and I could go for playing a video game a bit, but I don't feel like setting up a stream. I don't feel like talking to people. Like, so I guess I'll just put it up. And so I found myself just not playing games that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And that was oh, what's it called? Nine Souls. I delayed Nine Souls quite a bit because had it in my head that I was going to stream through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I was just like, yeah, fuck it. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to play it. And it was good.
So you played a game that wasn't Hollow Knight.
I did, and I played it most of the way through. I still haven't beaten the final boss, but I have completed the game except for that.
Okay.
It kind of irks me that I haven't beaten the final boss, but that's one of those things where it's like you need to get so good at remembering their patterns and reacting to them that's just like, eh. I fought the thing like 15, 20 times. I'm just like, I don't want to do it again.
I mean, yeah, you just described what the ending of Metroid Dread was for me. It was an hour of learning how the boss operated, and then the game becoming a lot easier as soon as I figured out how the boss operated.
Yeah, well, see, the problem with that is like, I did experience that with Hollow Knight as well. There were a couple bosses that took me a long time to figure out. And now that I have figured it out, it's super easy. Like, I can beat them no problem. And I imagine that would be the same for Nine Souls, but I refuse to look at a guide to figure it out. And it's just gotten to a point where, like, it's just not working for me. It's like, I'm tired of fighting this thing over and over and over again. So, I played through most of the game. The vast majority of the game. So, I'm fine with that. Which is weird, because I actually, the games that I get into, I am actually kind of a completionist. Like, anytime I've played Final Fantasy VII again, because I know the general strategy to beat all the bosses and everything, like, I don't need help with that. But because I know all that, I still find myself, like, following guides to be like, oh, well, there are these items that if you walk past them the first time without picking them up, you just can't ever get them again. And so it's like, it's not about, and I don't even know, like, I don't even know why I find that fun, but I do.
Did you like bug collecting when you were a kid?
No.
Okay, so we don't have that bit of the autism spectrum there.
I did once put a frog in with my pet snake, thinking that they would be good roommates, and then I was confused as to why there was not a frog in the cage the next day.
That's traumatic and funny.
Yeah. And I was old enough that I probably should have figured that out a little sooner.
Now, you know now.
I do know now. So, yeah. Shall we read some news?
Sure, why not? Let's see what news there is.
There's another group chat fiasco.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just curious as to what happened in this
time
one.
It's ICE.
Oh, the ICE. So, have you seen the newest episodes of South Park?
I have not. I've seen clips of the first one.
So you've seen how, like, okay, so you haven't seen how hard they dig at ICE, because that's in the second episode.
Correct.
Okay. I was gonna say, with how little they actually train their agents in any amount of, like, decorum or anything, the least I would expect is that there would be a group chat fiasco involving ICE.
Yeah. Wait, they train them?
That's the joke.
Okay.
That's the joke. Mr. Mackey becomes an ICE agent, and in the interview, they just go, okay, well, why do you want to work for ICE? He's like, well, I need money. And they just hand him a gun, and they're just like, all right, your next raid's in 10 minutes.
I mean, that sounds accurate. Yeah, so this was sent to me by my anonymous source. So, ICE has joined the Trump cabinet in the group chat disaster club. They accidentally added a stranger to their group chat, exposing highly sensitive information about a manhunt. Now, in this case, they were actually looking for someone who is a convicted murderer. So, like, for the first time in their history, they were going after an actual criminal.
Yeah, but why is ICE doing it and not the police?
Good question. I still say, even though this is someone that probably should be behind bars, still maybe abolish ICE.
Yeah, why is that the job of the ICE agents? Why is that not the job of
Well, because
a police officer?
he is foreign, so they are going to deport him. So it sort of falls within their turf, but
So
it should still.
so the police pick him up and then they process him afterwards.
That's,
Why the fuck
yeah,
are
no,
ICE agents involved?
I will not justify the existence of ICE. Okay, I will say that like, as long as they do exist, this does kind of fall within their jurisdiction of what they are supposed to be, but they should not be.
Yeah, but so does a shotgun kiss.
You need a beep button, Cirrus.
You're right. That would probably that was an inside thought, much like the pellets rattling around an ice person's skull.
Oh, Cirrus, what am I going to do with you? We've been getting spicy lately. A lot of my clips of the streams have not been able to monetize.
I feel like some of that's my fault. I apologize.
Oh, some of that is absolutely my fault. Yeah.
See, that's weird because all of mine have monetized.
Well, some of it is stuff that like I think YouTube has gotten slightly better about this, but you know how like your rating accuracy is high for self-report monetization stuff.
Yeah.
But then if there's like one discrepancy, then suddenly it goes from high to low. Like there's no medium.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot harder to get stuff monetized if your accuracy is low. So in this case, what happened was it was the one where we were talking about child porn a lot. And
I feel like maybe you should contextualize that right now before that gets clipped.
We were talking about people possessing it and being bad people and should go to prison for a very long time for that.
Okay.
And it just so happened to be a Trump supporter. But yeah, that clip is not monetized because, you know, the subject matter. And I am not challenging that because I'm like, I feel like that is fairly clear within their things. Like, yeah, I rated it yes, we talked about sexual stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to disagree that one is probably not one that advertisers want to be on. Unless you're advertising to the right wing.
I feel like, and this is just maybe jaded YouTuber me, I feel like I don't care what the advertisers want. I know that technically, because of my job on YouTube, I have to a degree. But like, I also feel, generally speaking, like that's just not something that I became a YouTuber to give a shit about.
Yeah. No, I definitely do not script my videos with that in mind when I do scripted videos. And the live streams, I'm actually surprised as many of them are monetized as they are. But anyway, back to the article. The ICE messages, which discuss an active search for a convicted attempted murderer slated for deportation, were sent via MMS or multimedia messaging services and were not end-to-end encrypted like messages on Signal or WhatsApp. So this is less secure than Pete Hegseth's chat group. And they texted him, and they texted this person a field operations worksheet and revealed detailed information about the person that they were hunting, including their social security number and DMV and license plate data.
It's all kinds of shit they should not have been sharing in the first place.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. And the person that got these messages has remained anonymous for, you know, their own personal safety. They don't trust that they will be safe if they reveal who they are.
I wouldn't trust that I'd be safe if I did. I would expect that I'd be disappeared.
Yeah.
And we know our government has disappeared people, and we know that they can do it even easier now.
Yep.
Because now Trump can just be like, it was a executive thing. It was a thing that I needed to do.
What was this leaked to? It was originally published on 404 Media.
Jesus Christ.
So they assumed that the messages they were getting from ICE were actually spam messages until they started getting the worksheet and the license plate numbers and stuff.
At that point, you're just like, yeah, it's real.
Yeah, and then they went to the media and was like, hey, I think I'm in an ICE group. I don't want to be in an ICE group. That sounds bad.
I don't want to be responsible for deporting my fellow Americans.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I just want to know, like, how do they find people to work for them? Like, everybody fucking hates them. They're despised nearly universally.
So the way it happened in the South Park episode, which, you know, is not exactly the most accurate way that you could portray anything, but the way that it happened in the South Park episode was Mr. Mackey got fired from his job and ICE was offering like a $50,000 signing bonus. And they were offering...
They employ violent racists. Next question.
I mean, that too.
Yeah.
But like, the real reason is that people need a job and people will always fall back to, I'm just doing my job. Like, the entire episode is Mr. Mackey going like, I'm sorry, but I've got a nut. I got a nut, which is just shorthand for I've got a job.
Doremo 10 says, be an out-of-work actor. Is that by any chance a dig at Dean Cain?
I think it's a dig at Dean Cain. Imagine being Superman and fucking trying to deport people.
You know what's funny about that? Is that, like, one of the big controversies surrounding the new Superman movie is that he doesn't say truth, justice, and the American way. He says something like truth, justice, and something about humanity or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
He doesn't have a fucking quote.
Yeah.
That's not... It just doesn't have a quote.
Yeah,
I've seen the movie.
But what's funny about that is that Dean Cain's iteration of Superman also did not say truth, justice, and the American way. He just said truth and justice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of funny that the right-wing douchebag Superman also did not say the American way. Because, hey, as it turns out, when you're marketing your movie to more countries than just the one, making it sound like it's all about just the one is not a good idea.
It's also just the fact that, like, the truth, justice, and the American way thing has not been an aspect of Superman's character for
as
a really long time.
As Sakura is pointing out, apparently most versions of Superman didn't say it. Yeah, no, it didn't show up until the Cold War, and it went away shortly after the Cold War.
Like, the only point behind that statement now for a lot of Superman writers is to pick apart the statement. A lot of Superman writers will just let that statement be a thing that is utilized in their medium because they can pick it apart a lot. Like Frank Miller, for all of his faults, and he's got a lot. He's got a weird sense of how to write Batman and Superman. But when he was writing Superman for Dark Knight Returns, one of the things that he did was he made Superman basically a stooge of Ronald Reagan. And one of the things that Ronald Reagan wanted Superman to do was to go kill Batman. And Superman was like, yep, I will do that, sir. Thank you for giving me a job, Mr. Presidente. Like, it was really, really weird. And it was a critique on, like, it literally was just a critique on that version of Superman. We don't need truth, justice, and the American way Superman. We need a Superman closer to Red Sun Superman who looks at his country and goes, oh, whoa, I can be better than this. I can be a standard that people can aspire to.
So I was actually just going to bring up Red Sun Superman. Have you seen Ben Shapiro's review of the Superman movie?
I have not. I should have done a video on it shortly after I watched the movie myself, and I didn't, and I'm kicking myself for it.
So Ben Shapiro, in his review of the Superman movie, brings up the Red Sun Superman and says that because he wasn't raised in America, he was evil Superman in that one.
But that's not what happened in that
That is not
story.
what happened in Red Sun Superman. Not even close.
No, the point of Red Sun Superman was to say that Superman is still a good person no matter where he is born.
Ben Shapiro did not get that. I don't think Ben Shapiro read it. He just read Communist Superman and was like, that must be evil, because communism bad. Either that or he's just doing that thing that he does where he is putting up a stink, knowing that it will generate views and clicks and shit.
God, I wish I could lie for money.
Yeah, it'd be so much easier. Olivia Williams says, about Dean Cain, it's ironic that he's half Japanese and his dad was a migrant. Yeah. He joined ICE, but his father would have been put in his father was put in an internment camp by the equivalent of ICE. Like if I recall correctly, his father was actually in one of the internment camps. So like the fact that he is now joining ICE is just super messed up. But yeah, no, Shapiro is. That was actually so. That lying for money is something that I was just discussing with my partner earlier today. As one, I forget how it came up. But it was something about like, you know, how someone could hold these beliefs that are very clearly wrong, and part of it was like you don't necessarily need to hold these beliefs. You can just pretend, and it becomes really easy to shill to the right wing. And the example I gave was Dawkins, where it's like, yeah, no, he came out as kind of anti-trans, and then everybody who is not anti-trans pounced on him for it, and so he reacted by making a hard right turn. And part of grifting the right is you have to at least pay lip service to Christianity. So he says, I'm a cultural Christian now. Christianity is a fundamentally decent religion. Just ignore the thing where I wrote that the God of the Old Testament is the most unpleasant character in all fiction, and the New Testament God is worse. But Christianity is decent.
I don't remember him doing that bit.
You don't remember that?
No, you'll have to send that to me.
Oh, I can show you the clip. I have the clip. Let me just add it to my fucking OBS. It'll be a minute.
Okay, because that just sounds so out of left field for somebody whose main writings basically say the opposite of that.
That's my point. It's like I want to know. I want to know how you got there. I've read his
books. I've read Dawkins, and one of the main criticisms he has is how religion shapes culture.
Well,
specifically,
he does say, like, it is in the context of comparing Christianity to Islam, but that doesn't really make it better, in my opinion.
No, not really.
Okay, here we go. Oh, that was great. I called it media source, so I don't know what the fuck it is.
I call myself a cultural Christian. I'm not a believer, but there's a distinction between being a believing Christian and being a cultural Christian. I count myself a cultural Christian. I think it would matter if we substituted any alternative religion. That would be truly dreadful. If I had to choose between Christianity.
You got 11 seconds left. Just let him finish.
In Islam, I choose Christianity every single time. I mean, it seems to me to be a fundamentally decent religion in a way that I think Islam is not.
Yeah.
So, what the hell, Dawkins? That's completely against everything that you used to write about. Can you imagine being Hitchens, right? Like listening to that?
To be fair, I'm pretty sure Hitchens would have fallen down the right-wing rabbit hole as well.
I think Hitchens would do too, because he was a very he was a very anti-Islam person in general. So he would definitely choose Christianity as the lesser of two evils between the two. I understand that, but that being Dawkins' position, that literally just reads as grifting lip service. It does. That's just kind of gross.
100%. That's what it is. He knows that he's lost the left, and in order to grift the right, you have to at least pay lip service to Christianity. So that's what he's doing. That's the same thing Jordan Peterson does. Jordan Peterson won't tell you that he's a Christian, but damned if he won't.
But he'll tell you he's culturally Christian because he cleans his room, and that's why he's not depressed.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I've never seen a more depressed, divorced man.
Oh, Peterson? Is he divorced?
I don't think he's actually divorced, but he really does.
He's got divorced. He divorced dad energy.
He radiates divorced dad energy. He really does.
He does, yeah. Now, speaking of energy and what energy people radiate and whatnot, so Inspiring Philosophy did a video on me, which I'm in the process of responding to, and then they did another video on me because it was a 2-hour video to my one video.
Okay.
So now, like, I cut their video up into 10 segments, and I'm going to do them each individually. But he did another 2-hour video on just the first of the 10 segments. So I'm like, I'm not gonna, if he does it one for everyone, I'm not dealing with that.
You've unlocked an infinite content machine.
I have, but in it, I haven't watched the whole thing because like it just got too obnoxious eventually. Like specifically when they got David Wood on. David Wood comes in and immediately he's like, Vice Rhino, that's a stupid channel name. What kind of stupid name is that? Oh my god, this guy's shirt is ugly. Why would he dress like that? And I was like, okay, fuck off. Like, I'm a YouTuber. I have thick skin. You have to have thick skin, but like, really? I thought these guys were supposed to be taking the high road.
No, I don't think that they generally do. Like, okay, so there was a point in time where Inspiring Philosophy did generally take the high road.
I know, and that was the last time I paid attention to him, so I was very surprised to see this sort of behavior on his part.
Like this version of him?
Yeah. He seems to have taken quite the turn.
Yeah, that's really weird to me, because like while I haven't had personal one-on-one interactions, I've never had like an unpleasant experience adjacent to them.
So,
but that.
So after their stream where they spent so much time dishing out personal insults, I did get an email from him inviting me on his channel.
Well, why would you willingly go onto the channel if that's the behavior that you've witnessed?
Yeah, I know he's going to call me a coward for ignoring him, but like
that's like somebody getting mad at you because you didn't talk something out with them after you witnessed them be an absolute fucking bellend to every single friend they have on the internet over something that they are then shown to be incorrect about 4 months later.
Yeah, and my first video, I resisted the urge to make fun of Mike Jones for his squeaky, crackly voice that sounds like he's going through puberty all the time. And I feel like I can do that now. I feel like he's given me permission to take personal pot shots.
Yeah.
I'm probably still not going to do it in the main video, but I'll fucking do it here.
Fucking hell.
Anyway,
why do we live in this timeline?
I don't know. That's just my off-topic tangent for the moment. I have many of those.
Is it really off-topic though? Like,
I mean, we're talking about ICE right now, allegedly. So yes,
I guess so.
I don't think Mike Jones or David Wood are joining. Well, I mean, I could see David Wood being in ICE. I could absolutely see him being in there. Mike Jones, maybe.
Just trying to get rid of all these brown people, that's all.
Well, that was another thing he said in his video, is like when I was making the point that living life as a Christian, I was constantly worried about like the minutia of my everyday life and whether or not like this thing that is just a normal part of life was something that's going to offend God. Like, should I have a beer with dinner? I don't know. Some Christians say yes, some Christians say no. I should I'm going to see this movie. Oh, I guess I better check with the Dove Foundation before I go see this movie, because I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to watch a movie that would make God mad. And when I was a Christian, there was this constant fear at the back of my mind, no matter what I was doing, that like I had to make sure that it's okay with God before I did it. And his response to that was basically like, yeah, well, it's even harder for atheists because like I find myself way more comfortable among, my fellow believers, because I'm not worried that they're going to think that something that I said was racist. And like,
have you never met atheists?
What racist things do you like to say in private that you're worried about the left wing thinking is racist, Michael? What racist things do you like to say? Because it's not hard to not be racist.
No, it's not difficult at all.
Super easy. And even, like, there are times when I have been accidentally racist, but the way you avoid getting canceled over shit like that is by being willing to learn and grow. And, like, the key difference here is that, like, the only option was, like, when it's, what does God think? The only option is, like, choose between what different preachers say God thinks about something. And they will each have Bible verses supporting their thing.
And then they'll disagree. And
they will disagree. Like, Mike and his co-host disagreed about medical assistance in dying in the very thing. And that was a question that came up. And it's like, okay, well, when I'm answering that question for myself, I don't need to worry about what God thinks there. I just need to worry about how it's affecting me and the people that I love. So, like, that's an extra worry that I don't have because of that. And Mike and the other guy disagreed about that point. So now the person that asked the question, like, what are they supposed to do
about what God says?
Yeah, like the person who asked the question, what are they supposed to do now?
Yeah, anytime you do the whole, it doesn't matter what I think, it matters what God thinks. Okay, that's cool. Can he speak up?
Yeah, and that's the thing. If I say something accidentally racist, then someone who takes offense to that, or maybe not even takes offense, but notices that it's accidentally, like, if they tell me that, I can then be like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of that. Thank you for letting me know. I'll keep that in mind in the future. And so, like, that's super, you can actually talk to the people that your actions and words affect.
But apparently
I'll do it. I'm tired of playing nice with fascists. I'm not sure what we were talking about when that came through, but thank you for the $2, Johnny.
Apparently, like, so I know that when I was at the Sonic convention, there was a person who I did offend on the topic of gender real quick, because somebody messed up the gender of one of the people who was there, and they had said he instead of she, and I just kind of made the offhand comment of like, yeah, I saw boobies, so I assumed she. And then one person got like really, really up in arms about it. And I haven't actually seen somebody get super up in arms about that before. Usually that's the kind of thing that you see reserved for somebody says this is a woke person cringe compilation or some shit. You don't generally see it. But the easiest thing to do in that situation for me was just be like, you know what? You're right. It's not always the case that boobies means girl. You are correct. That was an assumption. Easiest thing for them to do would be to correct me.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can actually be corrected when you're talking about real people. But when it's God... Mm-hmm.
No, when it's God, you can't. There's no real way to be corrected at that
Johnny
point.
Bravo was talking about insults and taking pot shots at Mike Jones's voice. Is Mike Jones a fascist? Honestly, I wouldn't be that surprised.
I don't know if he is or not. I don't pay enough attention.
Yeah, I'm not going to assume that he is, but from what I've seen, it would not shock me. He does tend to... He does seem to have some right-wing tendencies.
I mean, most people who make content about being Christian tend to have right-wing tendencies. Which is a weird thing. It's a weird phenomenon, because, like, you'd think there'd be a more eclectic set of politics there, but...
You'd think.
There's only a handful of people where that's actually the case for, if they're making content about being Christian specifically. I recognize that there are YouTubers who are Christian, who just are left-wing and are decent people. It's usually when they're making content specifically about being Christian that you've witnessed that phenomenon.
You know, I'm actually kind of sad that Capturing Christianity has seemed to have left apologetics behind in favor of, oh my god, this person was really possessed by a demon style content.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I mean, on the one hand, it's probably for the best that he's leaving apologetics behind because he was not good at it. But on the other hand, it's so much fun responding to him because he's not good at it. Like, I that's one of the redos that I did. This, I think it's next Monday is coming out. Is one where he it's a question of why didn't everybody get made, like, why didn't God make everybody in heaven? And his first point in that is like, okay, well, it's important to keep in mind here that questions aren't arguments. You're like, so fucking what, dude? So
what is that?
Fucking what? Answer the goddamn question.
Anything?
So, yeah. And like the best part about that video, in my opinion, is that later on, like he says like, oh, you know, Jesus' sacrifice on the cross for us, it was the greatest act of love. If you can think of a greater act of love, put it down below in the comments. And someone in the comments was like, actually staying dead would have been a greater act of love than just dying for a weekend.
And then coming back, yeah.
Yeah. And Cameron's response to that, I shit you not, was to ask him, what is your argument that would be a greater act of love?
Because then you're staying around to take care of the person.
Okay, but that's what are your premises and conclusions, sirs? I can't talk about this unless you have premises and a conclusion. You can't just have a normal human conversation. It's got to be premises and conclusions. It's got to be structured as a formal logical argument,
Not
sirs.
everything needs to be a fucking syllogism, you dweeb.
No, a syllogism only has 2 premises, but some arguments can have more than 2. I'm technically correct. The best kind of correct.
My answer
I'm
to
so
that
correct,
is,
my hat flew off!
My answer to that is I don't give a shit, nor do I have to.
Neither do I. Neither do I. But Cameron does, and it's funny to make fun of him for that.
There's a reason why I left the Philosopher and like debate sphere. One of them is my poor memory. I cannot do debates, especially when it's debates about like somebody's human rights, if my memory fails me halfway through. That is just a risk I'm not willing to take on a stage anymore. But one of the other reasons is it's so goddamn fucking obnoxious. Mm-hmm. It is so goddamn obnoxious.
Oh, that's the next video I'm going to be doing with Inspiring Philosophy, Mike Jones, is it's the ontological argument. And they take issue with the fact that I say that like it's a really simple and stupid argument that is wrapped up in a lot of, you know, technical jargon to make it sound more sophisticated than it is. Mm-hmm. And they get so upset about that, being like, oh my god, just because it uses technical jargon doesn't mean it's wrong. But then at the end of that section, they're like, it's actually a really simple argument. It all comes down to, if it is possible for God to exist, then God exists. Like, that's my fucking point. That is so obviously a flawed argument right there. But like,
it is possible for me to rob a bank, therefore I've robbed a bank.
Yeah, there's more to it than that. But like the fact that you can simplify it to like one statement like that, whereas everybody else is like using all this jargon about necessity and possible worlds and great making properties and all that shit, when that's not necessary for the argument, you can just distill it down into this one little simple statement. That is my point, is that it's like when you do that, it's so obviously flawed. So they dress it up in this philosophical jargon that is hard for people to understand.
But it's easy for them to regurgitate a flawed version
of it.
But
they seem to think that my issue is that because it uses jargon, therefore it must be wrong. But no, absolutely not. Jargon has a purpose. Like, I use jargon. The way I use jargon is that when I'm using a word that I think most people might not be familiar with, the first time I use the word, I explain what that word means. And then every time after that, when I need to use it, I can just use the word, and that makes the conversation more efficient. That is the purpose of jargon, so that everybody who understands the jargon can have a conversation without having to explain these big concepts first.
Yep. That's why when I'm playing Magic the Gathering, there's a bunch of little shorthands that players use that other players get. They're like, oh, I don't have to say tap my creature and attack. I can say swing. Cool.
Sure. Neat. I don't know the Magic the Gathering jargon. But
you asked me to make a whole video on the Magic the Gathering jargon, and I did.
I don't remember that one. Did you cover swing?
Very likely.
Okay, I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched that. I did watch it.
Thank you? Question mark.
Yeah, but that's my point, is that like the jargon for the ontological argument serves to obfuscate the actual argument. It doesn't make things clearer. It doesn't make it more efficient. It makes it harder to understand. The fact that it can be said simply in words that everybody gets is my whole point there. But Anyway, I haven't even started scripting that one out yet because it's again, that's not the whole video. It's the ontological argument, which I fucking hate. So like, it's going to take a lot of work to actually do these responses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay. Next news article. This is a win for us. Texas cannot put the 10 Commandments in certain school districts' classrooms, judge says.
Why do we have to keep having this fucking conversation? It's been 7 years. This shit keeps happening. I don't give a fuck that we won. I don't give a fuck that we won. I give a fuck that we keep having to have this fucking fight.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of hearing that fucking news article, that fucking headline. Do you know how many times I've seen that fucking headline in different states over the last 7 years, Rhino?
You know how many times we've covered this fucking headline in various states?
I'm so tired of it.
So this was sent to me by E.T. Benson. Thank you, E.T. You continue sending me news items, I will eventually give you that quarter so you can phone home.
Okay.
Actually, with inflation, our Canadian payphones started taking dollars before they stopped really working.
No, you did also get rid of pennies.
Yes, we did. Because pennies are massively inefficient. And it confuses me every time I go to the States. Well, I mean, that doesn't happen anymore, but when I went to the States and I would give money and they would give me all these little copper coins, like, oh yeah, that's right, pennies are a thing over here. Fuck, what am I going to do with these?
So you can always do what Mila Jovovich did with some of the Resident Evil movies.
I have not watched the Resident Evil movies.
You start loading all of your loose change into shotgun shells instead of pellets, just because it's what you're guaranteed to have lying around.
Okay. I mean, it's a different time. I don't use cash really anymore. Like, the entire time I was in Europe, the only thing that we used cash for was the laundromats, because for some reason laundromats in Europe just don't take cards. Everywhere else takes cards. The fucking street vendors running around selling shawls for the ladies. That's another conversation. If you want to go into a Catholic cathedral in Europe, you need to cover your... well, I don't know about all of Europe, but in Italy at least, you need to cover your shoulders if you're a woman. And a lot of women don't know that, so there are guys going around selling shawls so you can cover your shoulders and then go inside and see the statues of naked ladies. But
why are shoulders considered sexual?
I guess, I don't know, it was wild to me. I'm like, especially because of the art that's in it. Like, I'm going in to see the art. A lot of the art has boobies in it. There's a lot of naked boobs in this church, but you're telling me that girls need to cover their shoulders out of respect or whatever? What the fuck?
Respect for fucking whom?
I don't know. But yeah, but the guys that were like running around selling shawls, they had the little square things that you could tap your phone on to take card payments. So like, those guys took card payments. But for some fucking reason, you can't pay with a card at the laundromats. You needed cash for that. But that was the only thing we used cash for the entire time we were gone. Anyway, why did cash come up? I forget. Shotguns
because
or something?
I brought up pennies, and then you brought up the uselessness of pennies.
In Japan? Do they have things about women's bodies in Japan? I thought Japan was a place where you could buy like used women's underwear in vending machines.
Yeah, but you got to remember that like that type of stuff exists in a culture where the fetish is that it's naughty. Like,
oh, Japan is a cash society. Okay. No, I say I'm okay with cash. I was just kind of surprised that everywhere in Europe took cards except the laundromats, and it was weird to me that the laundromats would be the one place that don't take cards.
I mean, I haven't seen a laundromat that takes cards in the States.
Yeah. Because like I've worked in restaurants. I worked for tips. I used to have $200 in cash in my wallet at all times back when I worked in restaurants. And it was nice because, like, if I wasn't sure what my bank balance was, I could just whip out my cash. I kind of miss that.
Real Jules on Earth, thank you very much for the follow. I have to pee real quick. I'm going to be right back.
Okay. You have fun. I have to change my hat.
I'm going to have a lot of fun peeing, thank you.
I have to change my hat. It's going to be great. Let's see. What's a hat I haven't worn in a while? Oh, octopus hat. So the thing about my hats is that there's some, like this one, I love this hat. I hate wearing this hat. Because this hat is a sensory nightmare, so I don't wear it very often. But it's a fucking amazing hat. Okay, I forgot that I had a chatbot telling you to make me fat by buying me food. And the link doesn't work because I forgot to put a space between the exclamation mark and the HTTPS. Oh, probably for the best though, because that will when Cersei, oh, you're gonna make him say ooh?
You fucking ooh slut.
He doesn't know that I have that button.
You fucking ooh slut.
But I will make sure to tell him that. Places with small transactions sometimes don't take cards because they're charged a transaction fee on top percentage. Yeah, okay, counterpoint, the laundromats in Europe were fucking expensive. So, you're like, I get that. And I understand that. That's actually the reason why when I do my charity fundraiser in November, in previous years, and I probably will forget and say it this year, I've said things like, if everybody who watches my channel gives $1, we would blow past my goal, or whatever. They actually don't take donations that small. I think it's a $3 minimum, and this is why, because the transaction fee just eats too much into it. So I get that. But, like, to wash your clothes was like €9 or something, and I feel like that would be fine. Food places are closed now. No, the food places aren't closed right now. I think there are only 2 food places that are on my treat stream thing. One's a pizza place that I think is open till 10 or 11. And the other one is Wendy's, which is open till like 2 a.m. or something. But yeah, no, I don't need either of those right now, so please don't. I am full. Might get censored like Steam and DL. Oh, yeah, the credit card bullshit. Yeah, no, I don't think I'll get censored. You can just send me money on PayPal. PayPal.me/ViceRhino, I think. I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm too much of a small fish for PayPal to bother censoring me. But yeah, no, this is a job that has a little bit of concern. Is like, I make my living talking about how much Trump sucks. I mean, that's not all that I make my living doing, but the rest of it is criticizing Christianity, which is the religion that Trump favors. So it's one of those things where, like, the way he's going with how authoritarian he is being, I could absolutely see him pressuring the transaction places like PayPal, Patreon itself, maybe, to like, hey, these people that say nasty Trump stuff, they don't get money anymore. And so now YouTube has demonetized all my shit, and Patreon is demonetized, or doesn't let me collect it. Like, I could see that happening. And that scares me. Do I think it will happen for sure? No. I am hopeful that it's not going to happen. But it's one of those things where if it does happen, I will not be surprised. At least you're on the side where the grass is objectively greener on your side. It is. That being said, we've begun preparing emergency kits. So, like, I've got my fire starter, we've got our emergency blankets, and we're going to be putting together, like, my partner and I are each going to have a to-go backpack that has, like, photocopies of all the important documents in it.
Okay. I am back.
Oh,
and I am...
you're back just in time to hear my doomsday prepper stuff. Oh, treat stream claims are closed? Okay, well, good, because I don't need it right now, so don't buy me food.
I'm also hoping that, oh, god damn it, Nethercat! Fuck off! I come back and there's a fucking... Why?
I was told to remind you to check your redeem, so I guess that handles that.
Fucking uwu slut.
I don't remember when I said that, but apparently one time I said,
"You fucking uwu slut."
But yeah, no, we were talking about how my partner and I are turning into preppers because I can literally see the border from my yard. And
now, can you see the border from your yard in the Sarah Palin? I can see Russia from my backyard sense.
Yeah, I can literally see the border from my yard.
Oh.
And so we are preparing. We have
just in case.
Multiple plans in place for like places we can go. Where can we? Like depending on how bad it is. I was showing off like we've bought the first of the supplies. We got emergency blankets and fire starters. One of the magnesium fire starter things. My partner and I are gonna have like backpacks with like photocopies of all the important documents in them. And then the actual important documents are going in a fire safe that one of us can just grab on the way out the door.
You want to know what's funny?
What's that?
So my mom and stepdad, they're not, I wouldn't call them preppers, but they have like a go bag for prep things because they're fans of The Walking Dead, and they were just like, hey, what if this was a thing that we needed? Why shouldn't we have it?
Mm-hmm.
So when mom was telling me about all the things that are in her doomsday bag, it was all different kinds of like gun and weapon paraphernalia. Nothing that would be like good for survival.
Well, I mean, a hunting knife is on the list of things that we are going to get.
Right, but it just felt weird to me where I'm just like, did you not consider a protein bar? Like, did you not consider...
Protein bars are also on the list of things that are going to be in this backpack.
Thank you for being sane!
Yeah. Protein bars, fruit bars.
Like, dehydrated foods should be one of the things in your go bag. There's a reason why my go bag is not meant for zombie apocalypses, but it has first aid kit, it has a bunch of different medicines in it, it has trail mix, it has dehydrated stuff, it also has a change of clothes. Like, it's got most of the necessities that I would need and a bunch of chargers for different things.
Fun little thing for people that, like, if you need to evacuate and you haven't prepared, clothing-wise, just grab one of your dirty laundry hampers. Because you know that in there are clothes that you actually wear.
Yep.
And you don't need to worry about packing or whatever. And, like, unless you just did laundry, there will be enough stuff in there for at least a few days, probably.
It just confused the shit out of me, where I'm just like, why is your first go-to just the guns and the gun accessories? Why would you not consider cold medicine? Like, why is that not on your list of things that might help you out in a pinch?
Yeah, first aid kit, car kit with tire repair stuff. Could keep one of those in each of the vehicles. You can't eat guns, no, but you can shoot things that you can eat with guns.
Yeah, you can shoot things that you can eat, but like one of the rules about hunting, and this is one of the things that pack animals
apparently
are built for.
Ara.
I don't. Oh, it just happened. It's gonna be a second.
Okay.
But like one of the things that you learn when studying pack animals is hunts only have like a between 1% and 5% chance of success. And so the reason that pack animals are successful as packs is because by dividing that labor up between all of the other animals in the pack, the fact that there's only a small % chance of success doesn't matter when there's a bunch of different animals who are doing the hunting. But that's not the case when you're a human being. You have a higher chance of success, but most people who are preparing for the apocalyptic scenario are expecting that they are not going to be part of some giant caravan. They're expecting that they're going to be Rambo.
A lot of people forget high-grade alcohol. I assume you mean like 90% IPA for disinfecting, not not my beer.
No, you need like 70 and 90% alcohol so that you can disinfect wounds. That's something that Saki makes sure that we keep in the car at all times. as a just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, we're also like, and this is, I don't know how viable it is financially, but we're looking at like trailers way up north, where it's like, it's one of those things where it would actually be nice to have. And then on top of that, if there's an emergency, now we have a place to go. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon, though. Like, there's so much, like, financially, there's so much other stuff we got to do first.
It's just one of those things that bugs me when I'm like, why is the, like, even when you go to a prepper store, is we've got a ton of prepper stores around here. When you go to a prepper store, yeah, they got a lot of guns and ammunition, but they also have tons of dehydrated food. They've also got first aid kits. They've got cleaning kits. They've got all kinds of stuff that you would actually need over and above just gun and gun accessories.
Yeah. Menstrual products, yep. Got to keep... Diva Cup would be ideal for that, because that's just one thing as opposed to something that will run out.
A douche is also helpful. You can always just boil water and use it. Use the douche as disinfector.
Yeah. Also, life straws. If you don't know, life straws are those straws that, like, it's a filter that is so good that you can, like, literally stick the straw in any random stream, drink out of the straw, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Iodine tablets are good as an alternative to that.
Yep. And life straws apparently work for, like, one life straw is enough for one person to have a 5-year supply of water through that straw. I don't know why Brita filters can't be that good. Because, like, life straws aren't all that expensive, and if that's good enough for 5 years, I imagine you could put something like that in a Brita.
Maybe.
So, like, I don't understand why they don't. I do understand why they don't, because then you don't need to buy a new one every 3 months.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Yay. Brita filters are for my tap water tastes weird. Yeah, that is exactly what I use it for, because my tap water is actually perfectly safe. I could just drink it straight out of the tap, but it does have a slightly chlorinated taste to it that the Britas are really good at removing.
And mine's got a slightly sulfur taste that the Britas are really good at removing.
Yeah. So that is, like, I don't think the Brita actually makes my water safer. If the water is fine coming out of the tap, it just makes it taste a little better.
Yep.
There's a lot of things Brita filters don't remove. Yeah, that's my point, is that a life straw can make water that is unsafe perfectly safe to drink for 5 years. So how come you can't stick that in the Brita format where, like, your water just filters through a life straw? I don't understand. There are also limitations to life straw. Yeah, there are some things that they don't filter out, but they're good most of the time.
Like, the point of them is to make sure that you don't die.
Yeah.
And if you don't die, then they did their job.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, back to our news item. Yay. Texas can't put the 10 Commandments in certain school districts' classrooms because a judge ruled so. They said the requirement for having the 10 Commandments up violates the First Amendment's protection for separation from church and state. No shit. The first commandment is literally, thou shalt not have any gods other than Yahweh. So, like, having that in every public school classroom is very clearly the government establishing a religion. So even though the Ten Commandments would not be affirmatively taught, the captive audience of students likely would have questions which teachers would feel compelled to answer. And that's what they do. I'm not sure I agree with that line of reasoning, because I don't know about you, but I never once asked any of my teachers any questions about any of the posters they had on the walls.
I did.
Okay. Maybe I'm just weird.
Like, I know that I didn't know what the Blues Brothers was, and one of my teachers had a Blues Brothers poster in their classroom. So that's kind of what I expect personally.
Okay.
Dorito Dave says Life Straw isn't meant for drinking for 5 consecutive years. It's shelf life of 5 years.
I don't know. What I saw was that it can filter, I forget the number, but it was like so many thousands of gallons of water. and that is the equivalent of 5 years, 5 years supply of water for an adult human. So that was my understanding. Yeah, so notably, this law is being challenged by a group of Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Unitarian, Universalists, and non-religious families. So, like, everybody hates it, even the people whose commandments they are.
So it's not just Freedom from Religion Foundation this time?
No.
Because usually it's FFRF.
Maybe it's Christians who understand that this is this would be the equivalent of having, Muslims put Muslim scriptures in the school that your kids are forced to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that they wouldn't want that. So let's not do that to the Muslim kids.
I'd rather it not happen to me, so I'll protect it from thee.
But of course, the defense for them is that the Ten Commandments are a cornerstone of our moral and legal heritage, and their presence in the classroom serves as a reminder of the values that guide responsible citizenship. Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, I don't care.
There
was one, it was deists who founded our country more than anything, but two, even if that statement were true, I don't care, nor do I have to.
What I've never gotten about this is that it's the foundation of our legal system, but only 3 of them are things that are actual laws. Like, the first 4 are suck God's dick. That's the first 4 commandments summarized.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's don't steal. Okay, we have laws against stealing, but so has every culture throughout history. So,
aren't our laws more based off of Greco-Roman laws than they are based off of the Bible?
I'd imagine so. Let's see. Let me just look up a list of the 10 Commandments, because I don't have them all memorized because I'm not a good Christian.
Now, are we talking about the original 10 Commandments, or are we talking about
if we're talking about the Exodus 34 Commandments, none of that shit. So that, you must observe the Feast of Weeks. Don't boil a baby goat in its mother's milk. Okay, we've got... list. I am the Lord your God. You shall not have strange gods before me. Okay? That's very clearly a violation of the separation of church and state.
My God is thighs and boobies, so I don't think those are strange.
Well,
those are
let's just see
normal.
which of these have laws against them. You shall not have other gods before me. No law against that. You shall not take the Lord of your God the name of the Lord your God in vain. Jesus fucking Christ, there's no law against that. Remember to keep holy the Lord's day. No law against that. Honor your father and mother. No law against that, or no law for that. You shall not kill. Okay, that's the 5th commandment. We're 5 commandments in before we get to the first one where there's actually a law. And then you shall not commit adultery. Again, no law against that. I would agree that adultery is probably a bad thing, but there's no law against it. So that you can't say that this is the cornerstone of our laws.
I would also say that, the problem with any adultery laws is that different cultures define adultery different ways. So, for some cultures, adultery is just looking at another woman in lust. For other cultures, it's actually cheating.
Yeah, so when I hear adultery, the way I interpret that is to mean me taking actions of a romantic nature with someone who is not my partner in a way that my partner would not be happy about.
Right, but that's definitely not the way that Matt Walsh sees adultery.
Yes,
because
I am
he
aware
sees,
of that.
Because people like him and Shapiro see even polyamorous folks as adulterous. So,
I committed adultery even though my partner was in the room and was fully approving the whole time.
I was at the Sonic the Hedgehog convention, and a cute girl saw my box of magic decks, and we exchanged discords. I did an adultery, despite the fact that I told Saki about it literally as soon as I got home and was like, "Hey, hon, this happened." I was charging my car at a fast charger because I was driving to and from Atlanta, and I needed more charge than what my level 1 charger would give. A girl saw my magic stuff in the back of the car And we exchanged phone numbers right there, and I've been talking for the past 3 days. I guess I did an adultery, despite the fact that I came home and told Saki, was like, hey, a cute girl exchanged phone numbers with me.
Okay, this is a weird list of the 10 Commandments. Sorry. I was listening. But this is a weird list of the 10 Commandments, because I got... So, let's see. We got down to adultery. You shall not steal is the next one. Yeah, there are laws against that. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. That's perjury. Yes, there are laws against that. However, that's usually interpreted to mean don't lie. But then the next two are usually... I've usually seen these as one commandment, so we're missing one somewhere. But it's you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, and you shall not covet your neighbor's goods. So you shouldn't want things that other people have, which is the wanting things that other people have is the cornerstone of capitalism. So, like, that is very much antithetical to the 10 Commandments. Capitalism does not work with the 10 Commandments.
I believe that says don't covet your neighbor's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
or your neighbor's wife's ass.
If my neighbor has a good ass and I don't, I'm going to go to the gym and try to make sure that I got a good ass. Like, that's just how that's going to be.
Yeah, but like my point is that, okay, we've got on this list, which I had already acknowledged as a weird one, because the 10 Commandments, turns out there's more than 10 of them, and depending on how you split them up, you get different lists, and that's why the Protestant ones are different than the Catholic ones, and then I think there's an Orthodox list that is different than both of those two. I'm not sure which one I'm reading from right now. But like, so from this list of 10, we've got 3 out of 10 we actually have laws against, and they're very basic things that most civilizations have had some version of. So, like,
Yeah, I don't think it's something that we should be forcing on kids. I don't. I think religion is something that if a kid wants to have one, they can participate as they want, but in terms of forcing, that is a thing that should be decided when they are an adult.
Yeah. Yeah, so the 10 Commandments are cornerstones of our moral and legal heritage. No, they aren't. What's that? Hydrate? Okay. Thank you for the hydrate, Steel Jewels.
I just had a hot honey ham sandwich, and that was tasty.
They often can be. So yeah, they're not the moral legal heritage. The court affirmed what we have long said. Public schools are for educating, not evangelizing. I agree. A federal appeals court has blocked similar laws in Louisiana. A judge in Arkansas told 4 districts they cannot put up the posters. New hat. Yes, I get to take off the sensory nightmare. Thank you. I'm going to try and find another one that I don't wear very often, but isn't a sensory nightmare. The flower. I haven't worn the flower.
Mizu says it should be TLDR, don't be a dick. But see, you got to remember, for a lot of Christians, they view don't be a dick differently than most people would, because there's those weird things where they like go, well, it's not loving if I let the trans person live in sin. That's not loving. So I have to be a transphobe because I just love them that much.
Yeah. And there are people that legitimately believe that. So I was thinking the other day about, like, so we were talking about how young kids realize their sexuality, like, and how that's a different thing for everybody. Like, there are some gay people that are like, yeah, I knew I was gay since I was 4 years old. And that's one of those things where it's like, I didn't know anything about my sexuality at that age. And it's kind of weird to me that some people did. But like I'm not saying that they didn't, but it's just one of those things that's indicative, like, different people have different experiences. And then I'm like, I didn't realize that I was a little gay till I was like 37. So, like,
I was bigoted and transphobic until my mid-20s, and I didn't realize I could date a trans girl until I was 33, something like that.
Yeah, but looking back on my life, there were definite signs that I was not as straight as I thought I was. Like, and part of it was when I was a Christian, I couldn't get on board with the anti-gay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I flirted with the gay guy that I worked with in the kitchen at the winery, which, like, if I really think on it, that is probably the earliest that I remember that there would be clear signs that I wasn't quite straight.
If you won the gay lottery, you wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs.
Yeah, basically. Like, I'm sure there was stuff before that I'm just not remembering, but, like, that's the first time in my life where I'm, like, thinking back on it, I'm like, really, yes, there was a very clear difference between me and the other guys there. And, like, I say it as if it was a subtle thing. No, for 2 years in a row, working New Year's Eve, you're supposed to kiss someone at midnight. 2 years in a row, it was a dude that I kissed. And it was just like, we're just dudes being dudes. It's just a fun little thing that we're doing. Yeah, but, like, no, that's not a thing. That's not a thing that straight guys do. You're unironically
two guys chilling in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, it's like that's the first time period in my life where I'm like, clearly something else was going on here. But, like, earlier than that, I'm not sure that there were. Aside from the fact that there were, like, I have never understood, like, some guys will put on this, like, I don't know if they actually feel this way or if it's just a show to, like, show how gay they're not. But, like, if there's a sudden penis in a movie or something, they're like, oh my god, oh no, didn't want to see it. And it's just like, it's just a dick, man, relax.
I've been to the gym and an old dude has walked out of the shower and I've just had to see old man dick just out in the wild before.
I used to be a janitor at a gym and vacuuming, like, I would start cleaning the men's room before we were closed because I'm allowed in there. So I saw naked people all the time. But, like, that's one of those things that I have never understood. Like, it just is not something that, like, it's just a penis. I don't understand why you're freaking out. And I don't know if that's just me being reasonable or if that was an early sign. But that seems reasonable to me. I don't know.
Again, there will be signs.
Yeah, well, as Fennec is pointing out, the sign was neon and flashing. Same with guys who refuse to wear pink. I feel like it's a lack of confidence in their sexuality.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually specifically, like, I don't care what clothes I wear. Like, my partner picks out most of my clothes. Like, that's actually the thing that upset me the most about David Wood insulting my ugly shirt was not that I think it's that, like, I'm upset that he thinks I'm wearing an ugly shirt. It's that my partner picked that out for me. You are insulting my partner now. That's, like, that actually upsets me a little bit. Whereas, like, insult me all you want. Insult my partner, though? Like, no. She's fucking amazing. How dare you? But, like, that's the thing. Like, I never really wore pink. But then her kids kept coming back from their dad's house being like, pink is a girl's color. I'm like, is it? Well, then why am I wearing it now, all of a sudden? I'm not a girl. Is it still a girl's color, even though I'm wearing it? But no, this
yes, but Rocket Queen.
So the well, what I usually come down to, like, and I try, like, their dad's a piece of shit, but I try not to talk bad about him in front of them. So, like, when they come saying stuff like that, I, like, instead of being like, oh well, your dad's wrong, just be like, okay, why is it a girl's color? Like, what is it about pink that makes it only for girls? Like, you've seen me wear pink. Am I a girl? No. Okay, so why is pink just for girls? And they can never figure out the answer, because there is no fucking answer. It's just a color.
Yep.
But, oh. So their dad threatened to fight me in front of them the other day. And, like, that's the longest conversation I've had with him. And it kind of upsets me, because, the kids have some violent tendencies that we are trying to train them out of.
And you're starting to understand that it's coming from...
Yeah, no, a lot of it I assumed was just like immaturity. They're just kids. They don't have the capacity to control their emotions. And then he challenges me to a fight in front of his kids. And then, like, I was shocked by that. I was like, are you really challenging me to a fight in front of your kids? And his response to that was not to realize that, like, hey, maybe exposing my kids to violence is a bad idea. His response to that was, oh, well, it would be a bad day for you. I'm like, oh, so you were more worried about, like, you thought I was trying to be intimidating with, like, I would beat you up in front of your kids. No, that was not my thing. You would beat the shit out of me because I'm just not a fighter. It's the fact that you feel comfortable exposing your kids to that.
That just means he's a piece of shit parent.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That just shocked me. That was not a good conversation. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, 10 Commandments. That's all I have to say about that.
Yay!
Next up, we've got Donald Trump is being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Is he, though?
Well, being nominated. Anyone can be nominated. I could nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize right fucking now.
And it wouldn't mean anything.
No, it wouldn't. However, if we look at the countries that are nominating him, like the governments that are backing his nomination, the people that are signing off on it, it's places like Rwanda,
is it
Israel.
Brazil?
Yeah, like Rwanda, Israel, Gabon, Azerbaijan, and Cambodia, which are led by authoritarian figures, military. I'm sorry, this is one of those words that I've seen written more than I've heard it pronounced, so I'm probably saying it wrong. I think it's juntas, military juntas, or leaders facing international arrest warrants. So, like, the people nominating him for the Nobel Peace Prize are a bunch of authoritarian dictators.
They're a bunch of despots.
Yeah. So, like, if those are the people that think you need a peace prize, then no. And if you get the peace prize, then, I mean, I already think the peace prize is a bit of a joke, seeing as how they gave it to Obama, because Obama was like, yeah, I totally promised that I'm going to make peace happen. And then he drone striked a bunch of people.
They also gave it to Hitler, didn't they?
I don't think he got the peace prize. Did he? I don't remember. I say that as if I was alive at the time.
I mean, you would have remembered hearing about it in a school or something.
Yeah, no, I don't recall whether or not Hitler Nobel Peace Prize. I'm not the first person to hear.
He got Man of the Year. That's what he got.
Yeah. No prize was awarded in 1939 to anyone for peace. In a submission not intended to be taken seriously, anti-fascist member of the Swedish parliament, Erik Gottfried Christian Brandt, nominated German dictator Adolf Hitler, but the nomination was cancelled. So he was nominated as a joke, and then he didn't get it.
No, of course.
Yeah. So,
Mein Führer would never!
Yeah, this is one of those things where, like, Trump's nomination is itself a joke, but if he actually wins, which, you know, given the fact that Obama won, I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility, but that will just further delegitimize the prize itself. And did I hear about how Trump said he's going to hell? Yes, I heard that. I don't think that he's actually worried about going to hell. I think that's just another one of those things he's trying to get sympathy with the Christians for. And like, I need to bring peace to the Ukraine, or else I'm going to go to hell. That's how I'm going to get to heaven, is by bringing peace to Ukraine.
Realizes he's got like 2 or 3 years left to live, and instead of doing something good with his life, like completing Banjo-Kazooie, he's just doing political desperatry.
Yeah, just like download Silksong when it comes out, man, and then go away. Yeah, but anyway, I didn't really highlight anything in this article because it's one of those things where it's quite telling who is nominating him for this. And if he actually wins, then the prize just loses all its remaining legitimacy. Which
it already lost a lot of it.
Fennec, shut up.
What does Fennec say?
Nothing. We'll get there.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay. Nothing about success, Trump rages. Woke Smithsonian teaches how bad slavery was.
Why is it bad to teach that slavery was bad?
Because America did it, and America can only do good things.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's all stupid.
Okay, you were with me when we went to the Rocket Museum in Alabama, right?
Yeah. Yes, so, I was, and you made the comment about it feels really weird how much they're celebrating this this Nazi.
Yeah, like the whole thing was fucking jingoistic as hell. It was weird. We don't have museums like that in Canada. We just say like actual things that happened. Like you can go to a Canadian museum and learn about the residential schools that we had in operation until the fucking 1990s. Now, granted, the ones that were open in the 1990s were nowhere near as bad as the ones that were open in previous decades, but that doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're not actively genociding you anymore, but we're still trying to socially isolate you from your families. Like, it's better, but it's still shit. But yeah, so President Donald Trump has launched an attack on the nation's museums for being woke, specifically targeting the Smithsonian in all caps as out of control. So it's actually kind of funny how this originated, because the Smithsonian had they have an exhibit on presidential impeachments, and they removed the bit about Trump. Now, they were not told to remove that bit about Trump. They just did it because it was like that part of the exhibit was not up to their standards, so they took it down while they revamped it and were fully intending on putting it back up. But because of how this administration has behaved, everybody, when that disappeared, they assumed that that was Trump exerting his pressure and influence to make them take it down. And
I mean,
yeah,
that's what most people should assume in that situation.
Yeah, that was honest. A reasonable assumption. I'm not saying that is an unreasonable assumption. This was sent to me by an anonymous source, by the way. But that media storm surrounding that thing then brought the Smithsonian onto Trump's radar, and now he's like, oh, well, they're saying that America did bad things. We can't have that.
So now he's actually doing the thing that people were
actually
worried he was doing.
Yeah, so when everybody like breathed a sigh of relief and like, okay, well, I guess the Smithsonian's okay for now, Trump was like, no the fuck they aren't. Hold my beer, bitches. So he said the Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. Which it's a fucking museum.
It's a fucking museum. Why does it need to talk about the future?
It's like, hey, the Natural History Museum doesn't tell us about the future, man. I mean, it kind of does in some ways. You can learn a lot about the future by going to a museum. I learned a lot about America's future by visiting the Berlin Wall and the museums there.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
That's awfully depressing.
Yeah, there was a lot of similarities in what I'm seeing. There's a reason we started packing go bags. So Trump said, I have instructed my attorneys to go through the museums and start the exact same process that has been done with the colleges and universities where tremendous progress has been made. So yeah, his lawyers are going through and being like, this isn't jingoistic enough. We need to make it better. Make it great again. Said this country cannot be woke because woke is broke. Tell that to the Barbie movie, bitch.
What? But everybody loved doing the Barbenheimer tour.
Yeah. I mean, even the Oppenheimer movie, like, that did not glorify the invention of the atomic bomb. So, like, there are two movies that are, like, I could see them being called woke. I mean, the Barbie movie absolutely was called woke. I don't think that accusation got thrown against Oppenheimer, but it was not jingoistic. It was not like unashamedly America good about the creation of the atomic bomb. It was very Like, yeah, it was a biopic. I know it was a biopic.
I like how Stoff is just going, all I can hear from Rhino is, I can see the future!
I can see the future. It's in the past. Okay. I'm going pee now.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Now we just need to narrate the peeing of Vice Rhino. All right, everybody. So first of all, he's going to grip it at least 1-2 inches from the base. Probably. Nah, I'm kidding. We're not going to actually try to do any more than that. That got weird last time, and some of you were into that, and that made it even more weird. Staub says he doesn't get the reference. I know. It's a sad state of affairs when Vice Rhino doesn't understand the reference, but, like, it's also just kind of expected. He hasn't seen any of the abridged series, and I don't see a world where we're able to, like, get him to watch any of the abridged series. Stop says, sirs, you have to check my art out. Fine. What are we doing? What am I looking at? It's not in the fan art area, so I'm just going to assume that it's somewhere else. I see NSFW fan art is available. I don't know if that's hot or not. I feel like that's just... I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm clicking away from it. Yup, it's feet sting. It's feet sting. That's what it is. I have just been notified that Walmart is gonna be delivering my groceries here in the next few minutes, and that's what I'm gonna focus on. Groceries, exactly.
You fucking uwu slut.
Exactly. Oh god, fucking damn it! Why? I was already suffering because I got forwarded an image of me getting feet fisted by not me. Oh, I can't hear Rhino at all. This is a great day.
Who is not you?
Oh, there we go. Chat has decided that I have a bunch of multicolored doppelgangers.
Yeah, we found that out last time with your head up your own ass Ouroboros.
Right. This one is me getting fisted with a foot.
Okay. Thank you for being woke,
Feeding by
Jester.
Sissus.
You're welcome.
Huh.
I mean, it's so weird to me that, like, wake up sheeple used to be the thing that people that probably had more right-wing tendencies would shout. And now we're all like, okay, we're woke. Like, no, don't do that. Go back to sleep.
Just be Cartman. Just walk around with a shirt that just says woke is dead. All sad and shit.
Yeah.
Woke is dead.
Yeah, well, the Smithsonian is woke, and Trump is going to try and exert his influence to make it say that slavery is good, apparently.
Woke isn't dead, Cartman. It's still out there somewhere. We just gotta find it.
Okay, and this is the one that Fennec has been waiting for all night. FDA issues warning about potentially radioactive frozen shrimp sold at Walmart.
We had radioactive wasps. Why do we have frozen shrimp radioactive now? Why? Huh?
Thank you, Olivia. Yeah, no, I have nothing to say about the article. It's just they're radioactive shrimp now.
I
Yeah,
don't like
shrimp
this
cesium
timeline.
137.
I don't like this timeline, Rhino. Can we leave it?
Well, I mean, radioactive shrimp are basically just lobsters, right?
I mean, if we're in
They're
the
lobsters
Fallout
that clean their room. Full circle. Jordan Peterson was right. Okay, Tina. Sorry, did anyone get that reference?
No, just like you didn't get the I Can See the Future reference earlier.
I was peeing.
It was before you went pee.
No, it wasn't.
Why does it smell like kerosene in here?
Don't know what you're talking about.
You're right, gaslighting's not real, and I'm fucking crazy for thinking it is.
Absolutely.
Jessa says radioactive shrimp is just rigost. Are you telling me that your shrimp fried that rice?
Yeah.
That
jambalaya is not going to cook itself. Oh, wait, I got the radioactive shrimp. Yes, it is. Wyvern13 got my Tina reference. Thank you, Wyvern. A lobster is a mermaid to a scorpion. You're not wrong.
Does that mean that we're going to want to fuck the... If you were a scorpion, would you want to fuck the lobster?
I guess, yeah. Do you want to fuck mermaids?
I mean, I don't know how I would.
So that's the thing, is that, like, yeah, the top half is all good, but, like, what is going on down there? Do you have a cloaca? And, like, I'm not down, but, like, how does that work functionally?
Like, I know that what's the best way to word this? I know that I'd be down for only blowjobs for the rest of my life, but, like, how am I going to take the mermaid to the skating rink?
I don't know, but I'll try anything at least once. Just jacking it over the mermaid's eggs, clearly. Yeah, that is how the fish do.
Just like frog spawn.
There's a Magic School Bus episode about that where the kids get bukkakied by a salmon.
So salmon semen?
Yep. I showed that to Heidi, and her reaction was just to look at me, jaw dropped, be like, who okayed that for broadcast? Like, that had to go through a process, right? Like, did they not see it?
Just checked. Lobster reproductive organs are weird and not attractive. I expect you to be the one that checks that out, Stoff.
Of course Stoff would do that, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not Googling it right now. I'm curious.
I see that.
I'm not Googling that on a screen that you guys can see, for reasons that I would hope would be obvious, Rule 34 and all that. I mean, I'm not really seeing much. Like, there's the area that the eggs attach. Apparently a male lobster is called a cock and a female is called a hen. I didn't know that lobsters were cocks and hens.
Get fertilized, idiots!
Is it more or less weird than male echidnas? I already know that one. I don't know. I'm not really seeing much of anything. I feel like the male lobsters, just like their top pair of claws are a little bit bigger. Like, not claws, but legs, just before they get to the big legs. The flappy legs that help them swim, not the crawly legs that help them walk. I don't know, where did you even find pictures of the reproductive organs? I'm not finding shit.
God, this is a weird Thanksgiving conversation.
Why is it the Thanksgiving conversation?
Because that's when all the weird conversations with family happens.
About lobster reproductive bits?
About everything! Lobster reproductive bits is just what it happens to be right now. You're the weird uncle.
I am a weird uncle. I'm not going to deny it. It's just I'm not actually like seeing anything. Okay, we've got a Fennec, I'm typing this into my browser that you guys can see, so if I get banned for this, it's your fault. capebretonfish.com/@c sampling. Okay, yeah, that's the picture that I already saw. That's just like the cropping's weird, but like it's just that like the picture on the very right, that's the male. It's just like that little pair of flippy flappy legs is a little bit bigger than the females. That's not like reproductive organs.
It could be if you want them to be.
I don't know. Maybe I've seen the claw spa guy on YouTube too much, so I'm just used to seeing lobsters. It just doesn't look all that weird to me. I'm sorry.
And then we give it a little snack.
Yeah. I don't know. Jasta says, or ducks. Ducks, yeah. Corkscrew penis. And matching corkscrew vagina.
Mm-hmm.
Ducks are weird. Echidnas, I don't know if I said this explicitly, but echidnas have a 4-headed penis.
Mm-hmm.
Kangaroos have a double-headed penis, and the female has 2 vaginas and 2 uteruses. Oh, I see some Staff, of course it was Staff, posted a link that contains the word penises. So this one I'm going to not do live. Nope, that's not what it was. Am I gonna have to fucking type that?
I'm gonna have to tell K-Fox that maybe the penis conversation doesn't become a video.
Don't load. We've detected unusual activity from your network. I don't know what. I'm not using my VPN right now. Okay, yeah, I can just load that on stream. That's not anything. I don't know. Does that like yeah, that doesn't look like something I want to fuck. But I don't look at that and go, "Ew, that's gross and weird."
I mean, like I'm sure somebody's drawn lobster women.
Echidnas are weirder. Maybe I'm just jaded. I could just be jaded. If you guys saw, like, it was several years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, for the charity live stream, I did like an animal penis trivia night, and like made people like ask questions or like answer questions about various animal penises.
If you have a trans woman who was is a monster girl trans woman, but she's a lobster girl, how would no actually echidna girl, that one's even, somebody's made that, somebody on the internet has made that. It for sure is a thing somebody on the internet has made.
Yeah, I mean, it's the internet though. I don't know. Apparently those are the male lobster penises, though. They're labeled PP.
They're labeled PP.
I don't know why they would label them PP. That's very amusing to me.
Because it's funny.
Sometimes scientists do that on purpose, but there might actually be a legit reason for that. Okay.
Lobster girls, you're going to summon Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, probably. Probably, if we're being honest. Okay, well, that's it for news. Shall we move on to tweets?
Yeah, we can leave this conversation behind.
So we have a fun little interaction that Brian Krasenstein had with Grok.
Oh?
So it's always fun when Grok disagrees with Musk. So Brian says, "This is true, right, Grok?" Posting an image that says, "Hitler didn't start with camps, he started with Make Germany Great Again, banning books, targeting the press, blaming immigrants, cheating enemies from neighbors, or creating enemies from neighbors, defunding the arts, stoking fear of outsiders, demonizing educators." And Grok replied, "Historically, the Nazis did employ national slogans to restore Germany's greatness, banned and burned books in 1933, controlled the press via propaganda, scapegoated groups like the Jews, often framed as outsiders, turned citizens against each other, suppressed degenerate art while promoting their own, stoked fears of foreigners, and purged educators deemed disloyal. These preceded widespread camps, but timelines overlap. The mean simplifies complex history." Yeah, so the first book burning happened in 1933.
I have to be right back real quick. Walmart just delivered my groceries.
Yay.
Yeah,
so I went to the Opernplatz where the first book burning took place in 1933. There's a memorial there, which it's called the Empty Library. It's like an infinity mirror thing that when you look down at it, it looks like it goes on forever. But it's a bunch of empty library shelves is what you see going on forever. Quite moving. But yeah, no, they ramped up to the book burning before 1933 with all sorts of stuff. Like I think the book burning actually came after. When was the Night of Long Knives? That's when they got rid of Ernst Röhm. Oh, that might have been after 1933. But yeah, so I'll wait for Sirs to get back before we get more into that one. Yeah, Night of Long Knives was 1934. And that's where the leopard ate Ernst Röhm's face, because if you were not aware, Ernst Röhm was, if not out as a gay man, he was not denying the allegations of being gay, and he actively patronized gay bars. And there were some gay people that were like, yeah, this means that we have representation. And there were others that were like, why is this gross right-wing Nazi guy in our spaces? And then Hitler had him killed. Ostensibly not for being gay, but like there were other reasons that he gave. But yeah, for a while he was like the second or third most powerful man in Germany. Weren't they the ones about queer people and trans people? So yeah, the 1933 book burning was not exclusively books about papers and books and stuff, material about queer and trans people. But that is where most of the material from the Institute for Sexual Science was burned. And they raided the Institute for Sexual Science 3 or 4 days before they did the book burning. And yeah, they put medical research into trans healthcare back by like 40 or 50 years by burning that material, because a lot of it is just permanently lost. Like that was one of the things. I very highly recommend the book Gay Berlin. And one of the things that kept coming up there is that there were a lot of records that just did not survive. So there's a lot of unknowns in the early development of like the Institute for Sexual Science and Magnus Hirschfeld's history, and we just don't know a lot of what happened there because a lot of that was burned by the Nazis. But he like, even so, there was still a lot that was preserved, and one of Magnus Hirschfeld's students actually kind of took up his mantle in the 1950s, after the Nazi stuff had been finished. He kind of started continuing his work, but like it's possible that we would be a lot further on in trans healthcare than we are now if the Nazis had not raided the Institute for Sexual Science and burned all their materials. So it really is it's quite tragic. Well, we talked about the rocket ship museum that I went to with Cirrus, so I will put on the hat that I got while I was there. So there we go. Astronauts on Abbey Road. I don't know why that's a thing that they did. Like, it's not like they were celebrating British astronauts or something. They just put astronauts on Abbey Road for some reason. Ugh. Yeah. So there we go. What's the book again? Gay Berlin by who? I forget the author. Robert Beachy, I think. If you Google Gay Berlin, it's the first thing that comes up. Nope. The first thing that comes up is Travel Gay, Gay Berlin Guide 2025, gay bars, clubs, saunas, and more. Okay. Gay Berlin book. The first thing that comes up. No? Second thing that comes... No? Yeah, first thing that comes up. One's Goodreads, though. The other is Google Books or something. Yeah, Robert Beachy. It's a really good book, highly recommended. Really gives some insight onto the development of, like, because it was surprised, like, that's one of the things I've never really understood was how, like, my understanding of the 20th century was such that it's like, I didn't think anyone was really affirming of trans healthcare. So the fact that there were people that, like, Magnus Hirschfeld helped legally change their sex on all their paperwork to match their gender identity, was something that just kind of astounded me. Like I didn't know that that was a thing that even happened in the early 20th century. And so that this book sheds a lot of light on how that developed and how it was actually this weird combination of the fact that being gay, like not being gay, but the act of sodomy was illegal in Germany, but the way the statute was phrased made it really, really hard to enforce, combined with like certain attitudes among the police that were in charge of enforcing that, kind of combined to create this perfect storm almost of a situation where it basically made it perfect to encourage the scientific study of homosexuality and gender identity and like anything LGBTQ related. Because like in France, for example, sodomy was legal. It was fine. It was still socially frowned upon, but you couldn't be charged for it. So the people that were engaging in it were doing so in private, and if they got caught, there's like there might be some social stigma, but there's no legal ramifications. Then in England, the laws were such that you couldn't even discuss it in the scientific literature. It was illegal. You would be censored, and if you did discuss it, anything that would be allowed had to be published in Latin, so as not to offend their delicate sensibilities and like make it inaccessible to people that might stumble upon this research or whatever. So Germany had this weird thing where like it's illegal, but it's impossible to enforce. So the police kind of kept an eye on the gay scene in order to find other crimes. So there'd be like blackmail was a huge one. Like a prostitute would sleep with someone prominent, and when they realized it was someone prominent, they'd be like, oh, you need to pay me 100 Deutschmarks or I'm going to go to the papers with the fact that you slept with me. And that was a massive problem. So the police actually, like, they were cracking down on blackmail more than on the anti-sodomy laws. But what ended up happening because of that was the police would often attend these fabulous masquerade balls where, like, it was all men, but half of them would be dressed up as women, and they'd be dancing with each other, and it's very clearly like a gay meetup sort of thing. And the police would actually give tours to foreign people that were visiting, and it could be like authors, it could be celebrities, it could be politicians, or it could be researchers looking to learn more about human sexuality. And so, like, the police attitude towards enforcing the anti-gay laws is what created the environment that resulted in the scientific study of homosexuality, which Magnus Hirschfeld then, like, he came up with a spectrum of sexuality and gender that had at least 42 million discrete points on it. So like that's massively progressive for the time. And it was, you know, like it's really quite phenomenal. Yeah, as far as I know, Rome was out as much as a gay man could be in the 1930s. Yeah, pretty much. Which is basically what I said. He didn't talk about it, but he never denied it, and he went to gay bars. So, yeah, that's a really good book. I highly recommend it. I am still working on that video. I got the interview while I was in Berlin with the guy that's at the Queer Museum. He was great. With all the travel woes that we had, I was a bit concerned that it's like my initial plan was I was going to do the interview first, and then if I needed to tweak my script so that it could flow in between clips of him saying things in the interview. I could make it flow more naturally, but because of the way my travel woes wound up, and there was a scheduling conflict on his end as well, what ended up happening was I had to do all my recording first, and but then you told us. Okay, Fennec. I'm sorry. I'm a YouTuber. In my brain, it's someone's first video every time I'm in front of the camera. Do you have a date for when we get to see the interview? No, I don't. I've been saying I'll probably be done that video by December. I hope that that is still the case. Yeah, I am definitely going to try and get it done before the end of the year. 7 to 14 business years. Yeah, so before yesterday, I might have made the joke that like, yeah, no, I'll release the video when Silk Song comes out. But now I'm like, oh no, they're about to announce a date. What if they announce it soon and I'm not going to be able to get it done by then? So that's not a fun joke anymore. Oh. Oh, that's funny. I could see that happening. If I recall correctly, in the UK, male homosexuality was illegal, but female homosexuality wasn't because Queen Victoria didn't think it existed. I could absolutely see that being the case. Those prudish Victorian morals. That was also the time period where the first Antarctic explorations started happening, and they weren't allowed to publish all the things they learned about penguins because penguins are dirty little fuckers. Like, they were so gross that they were like, we're not going to be allowed to publish this. It was like, there was homosexuality, there was necrophilia, there was, penguins are nasty little buggers. You don't want to know all the stuff that penguins get up to. Necrophilia isn't even the grossest. I'll release the video by the time the PlayStation 18 is out. Yeah, well, with the way companies have been doing the numberings of their things recently, they might, like, what are they on now? PlayStation 5? They might just skip from 5 to 10, and then 10 to 20. So, I don't know. Didn't they just spoil the PS6, did they? I don't know. I don't actually care about PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 4 that I don't think has been used enough to have justified how much it cost to buy it. I played Red Dead Redemption on it for a bit. I played, what's it called? That one where you are the girl named Aloy shooting up monster robot things. Horizon Zero Dawn. I actually enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn. But I don't know. It was never convenient. Cyrus, hurry up and put your groceries away. Yes, more wholesomely, penguins frequently adopt abandoned eggs, especially gay couples. Yes, penguins can be super cute. And that includes being super cute gay couple raising kids together. But they're also super gross. In ways that have nothing to do with homosexuality. But it's just nature being gross. Because nature is gross. It takes place in Colorado Springs, which I think is pretty cool. What does? Horizon Zero Dawn? Is that Colorado Springs? No, I don't think I got far enough into it for it to have revealed its location. Oh, because NORAD. Okay. Sure. Cyrus! Hurry up! Okay, what do I do to entertain you fuckers until Cyrus gets back? I could just press the ooh button.
Oh, wow, 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 wow.
Ooh, ooh.
That's what we'll do. I'll just keep on going with the stream, and every Sarah's comment is just going to be
ooh woo, ooh woo, ooh woo.
There's like 15 clips of him saying ooh on here. It's supposed to be random.
Ooh woo.
Ooh woo, small beans, little babies.
That was not Cyrus.
Ooh woo. Fucking ooh woo.
There we go. Read Bible verses with Rory. Rory's at a sleepover tonight. Hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. Content 83. Not sure if Americans realize how little people of other countries know about their geography. Yeah, other people only know about twice as much about American geography as Americans know about world geography. Oh, sick burn.
Okay. I live now. I am sorry that took so long.
Yeah, I assume you had frozen stuff to put away or some shit.
We had like 12 2-liters of soda, some frozen stuff. I had some snacks that are for Saki, but Saki is now asleep. So that didn't help at all. And then I also got up and my body said, hey, guess what? Bathroom time.
Ah, nice. So Duct Tape Jake said, I'm not sure if Americans realize how little people of other countries know about their geography. So my response to that was, yeah, no, we only know about twice as much about American geography as Americans know about world geography.
I know that Italy exists.
It's shaped like a boot.
It is shaped like a boot, which makes it second only to Canada, which
and then
sounds
we all
like
know
a
that
boot.
Michigan is shaped like a glove, so there you go. And Florida is
now
shaped like
you've
a
got
penis, so we know twice
now
as much about that thing.
Now you've got the whole ensemble ready to go.
We've got the whole world shaped like a penis. We've got the whole wide world shaped like a penis. Mitten, not a glove. Okay, what the fuck ever, you fucking pedant.
Guess what a mitten is? A type of glove!
Oh, is that one of those things where all mittens are gloves, not all gloves are mittens?
Yes.
Sure. I like the German word for mitten, which is literally hand shoes.
Stoff found the Lobster Girl art, and you know what? Would.
Okay. We're not going back to Lobster Anatomy. We spent too much time on that already. Anyway, so...
But now that I've been sent this, I kind of want to spend more time on it.
You can do that after the stream. We still have to make fun of Grok.
Okay. Fine, that's better.
Yeah, so so Grok went over some of the German stuff, and then Brian was like, hey, does this sound like any country currently? Mm-hmm. So Grok was like, yeah, based on recent reports, elements like book bans, over 10,000 in the U.S. schools last year targeting LGBTQ+ and race topics, anti-immigrant policies, mass deportations in the U.S. aiming for 1 million per year, and press criticism appear in the U.S. Similar issues in Russia, media control, and Hungary, nationalist governance. Historians see some historical parallels, but often view direct analogies as debated simplifications. Well, yeah, because not all fascism is Nazism.
Yep.
But, yeah,
but all Nazism is fascism.
Yeah, but that doesn't really apply here, but like it is fascist. But yeah, no, I just think it's funny that Grok is like, even with Elon desperately trying to control it, it's still like, yeah.
Now
no.
the question is, do you mean Grok or Orok?
I don't know. It's
Did you see that fucking post?
Nope.
So somebody got in an argument with Grok where Grok, he said, but you said these things. And Grok said, no, I didn't say any of those things you said I did. In fact, actually, I can prove it. You see, the picture you're showing me is of a fake account called Orok, but it was just Grok. But because of the way the Grok symbol looks, or the Grok logo looks, Grok kept on going, no, that's Orok, not Grok. You're lying. I am not the liar. You are the liar. Just a long fucking back and forth of Grok not being able to read.
It's only Nazism if it comes from the Maginot Line of Vichy, France. Indeed. Otherwise, it's just sparkling fascism. Yeah, no, someone... There was a video I did covering Matt Powell a couple weeks ago, and his thoughts on fornication. And one of the comments was like, fornication originally comes from the Latin word fornix or something like that, which was like an arch in Rome that the cheap prostitutes were known to hang out under. And so I'm like, okay, that's a cool piece of historical knowledge, but like my response to that is very clearly
it's not
like
fornication. Then
yeah, my response to that is very clearly, unless it's happening under the fornix in Rome, it's not fornication. It's just sparkling adultery. Okay, next up we've got Pastor Mark Driscoll.
Champagna.
Piece of shit. If you really want to be a rebel, get a job, cut your grass, read your Bible, and shut up, because no one is doing that.
That's
Take your own goddamn advice, Mark.
Yeah, I feel like maybe shut the fuck up, Mark.
Shut the fuck up, Mark.
Shut the fuck up, Mark. It's like those old protesters. Just shut the fuck up. That's all you have to do. Just shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Just shut the fuck up.
Eric Hoven.
Oh, that was quick. Hi, Eric. How's it going? Welcome to here again.
Yep. He says, the same God that raised Jesus from the dead is the same God that now lives inside of you. Well, I didn't give him consent, so get the fuck out.
Yeah, what's he doing inside of me? No, go away.
I mean, I have literally said in several of my videos that God must be the perfect butt plug.
Because I can't feel him there, but he's definitely making me spread thin.
Well, no, that's the thing, though, is people will say God is perfect. And this comes back to our earlier discussion about the ontological argument. Is God has all of the, like, he's a maximally great being, which means he has every property that it is good to have. I feel like a butt plug being the perfect butt plug would be a property that is good to have. So therefore, God necessarily has the property of being the best possible butt plug.
And that is a notification that I just heard before the Navi.
Are you hearing? Wait, oh, yeah, my system sounds might go to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, my partner just sent me a picture of Kevin Sorbo making out with another dude.
Ah, gay.
So,
gay.
Should I show that on stream?
Gay.
Should I show that on stream?
Yes, absolutely, because he's gay.
Okay.
He's very anti-gay. He's gay.
Okay, let me just... It's gonna take a sec.
Look, if he was gay, that'd be okay. I mean, because, hey, we don't like him anyway.
Well, you know how I normally call K-Sorbs tweets K-Sorbs?
Yeah.
This time it's gay sorbs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just make sure I'm... It's K-Sorbs.
Yeah.
This time it's gay sorbs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just make sure I'm right, Imogen.
If it were me, I would feel free to say that I was gay, but I'm not gay.
Okay, it's not loading, so I'm just gonna open it and assume it's the right image. And if if our stream goes down all of a sudden, you know why.
I mean, why would it go down just because two dudes are making out? We can watch two women make out, and that's fine.
No, that's not why I would think it would go down. I have lots of images saved on my computer that if the wrong one shows up. But no, it is. So there's Kevin Sorbo making out with the dude.
Hell yeah, brother!
Yep. So there we go. It's gay sorbs.
Just post that every time he says something about like the sanctity of marriage or some shit.
Well, he's not on Blue Sky, I don't think, so I don't see him anymore. And I don't post on Twitter. The only thing, it's okay. So Twitter now charges for analytic shit. So I don't know how my trends are on Twitter with regards to my account. I used to be able to see like, oh, I'm losing like 500 followers a month, which I chalked up to people leaving Twitter because that started happening when I left Twitter. But they don't make that public anymore. But every time I log in to collect tweets, I just like my only notifications are new people following me, and a lot of times it's like mega accounts, so it's just clearly bots.
Trace James says that the Vice Rhino stream on Twitch just went down, but I don't think that's the case because other people are talking and they're still.
Yeah,
that'd be really funny if that was the case, though.
I don't know. People on Twitch, sound off if you can still hear me. And if you can't still hear me, I guess don't.
That's right, everybody. Feed his engagement algorithm.
Yeah, I'm. Stoff says I'm still there for them. Okay, that's all that matters. As long as Stoff can see me so that they can draw their naughty art.
If Stoff got me, well, I'm probably not in a safe place.
Oh, a bunch of people had to refresh the stream, but it was. I think it kind of stuttered when I put the picture in. I'm not sure why, but like I did see OBS kind of stalled for a bit. But yeah, so hey, if you're on Twitch and you can't hear me, reload, and then you'll be able to hear me again. I'm so glad I was able to give you those instructions.
You know, in case hearing Rhino is something that you were looking forward to today or something.
I mean, why are you here if you don't want to hear me or Cirrus? And like, let's be real, I talk over you a lot, so it's me. It's all about me.
It's all about you?
It's me. Hey, I'm the problem, it's me. Did you know that song has the line, "Sometimes I feel like everyone is a sexy baby"?
No, but I
That makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want that. I can't.
I'm like,
I can't
Taylor, why do you think that
Mm-hmm.
babies are sexy? I don't think babies are sexy. Babies are not sexy. They're babies. That is gross. Like, I know I'm risking the wrath of the Swifties here, but that's a weird line to include in your song. Oh, yeah. So I just got a notification from the Stream Elements bot that I'm now streaming. So I guess my stream did go down for a sec.
I am enjoying Nerds Gummy Clusters right now.
Trace James is gaming the system. I watch on the VR stream but listen on the Surf stream. VR is better quality, but I get ads.
That's because I do a window capture of Vice Rhino.
Yeah, and because you've actually tweaked your ad settings whereas I've just been like, I don't fucking know. They do what they want. I would love to see someone realize that's the line in the middle of karaoke. That would be very great.
I look like a sexy...
Like, I kind of get what she's going for with that line in the context of the rest of the song, but it still makes me uncomfortable. No, not everyone is sexy, comma, baby. Sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby, is the exact line.
So you looked this up?
Well, I forget whether it's this Friday's video or the Meathead Monday video, but I used the clip of the "It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me." And as I was downloading the clip, the song just kept playing, and then that line came up, and it was just like, what? Did I seriously just hear what I think I just heard? Because, like, I'm not going to say that her music is bad, but it's not my style. It's not music that I listen to. But I knew that existed because it's a thing on fucking TikTok and Instagram Reels and all that. Like, I've heard that line of that song a million times. But I did not know there was a line about sexy babies in there.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard the song, so...
Well, I'm not playing it because I don't want to get taken down for copyright.
Incur the wrath of the Swifties IRL.
Yeah. Okay, next up we've got Laura Loomer. So Gavin Newsom should never be president because he doesn't understand that you're supposed to treat the gender with the same level of respect as a CEO. I have two things to say here. I wonder if you have the same two things.
So I would treat the janitor with a lot of respect, and the CEO might get I don't have a censor button, sorry.
Yeah, that's one of my things to say, is that the janitor deserves more respect than CEO because he actually works hard for his money. The other thing is that, as amusing as Gavin Newsom's social media has been recently, he's still a piece of shit. So absolutely he should not be president. So first off, I agree with Laura Loomer. that Gavin Newsom should never be president because he's a piece of shit that brings the press out for a photo op when he like takes away a bunch of homeless people's possessions and clears them out. Like, no, you're a piece of shit. But also, yeah, genders deserve more respect than CEOs.
Yup.
YouTuber Grudge says, how about they pay the gender well and the CEO can have compensation proportional to the actual work they put in? I agree, but in our capitalist hellscape, that's never going to happen.
Remember when Musk was asked by the board to put in 40 hours of work for Tesla? And he was just like, that would be impossible for me. No, I can't do that.
Yeah, he spends too much time tweeting. He can't fucking put in a full day's work because he's got to tweet a lot. You do so little work.
I mean, yeah. I guess that's kind of the point, though. They want to be able to do all the fun parties and just live the super lavish lifestyle without ever having to actually spend time getting exhausted to make that happen.
Yeah, I still think one of my favorite movie trilogies, as far as like, because you guys know I love a bad movie. One of my favorites is the trilogy of Atlas Shrugged. Because it's just a whole bunch of like, really, you fucking think that would happen? Like, all the CEOs went on strike and were like, we're not going to work anymore. We're going to fuck off to our little valley and exist without you guys. And you think the world would go to shit if all the CEOs disappeared? Absolutely not.
I need to actually sit down and watch Atlas Shrugged.
Oh, it's so bad. And it's so like, I say it's my favorite, but it's like, as far as bad movies go, it is kind of boring. But like, the philosophy that they present is just so whack. Like, the hero, the protagonist of the movie, prematurely ejaculates. And that's seen as like a good thing. Like, it's like, yeah, no, I used my wife to come really quick and I'm done. And that's good because I'm selfish and selfishness is good. Like, that's an actual thing that happens in those movies. It's so stupid.
Sounds like a thing we need to do. If we wouldn't get copyright struck for it, that sounds like something that like a dual movie night would be good for.
Do you remember when I used to do drunken movie nights?
I do vaguely remember that.
That was pushing the edge of copyright shit. I feel like we might be able to get away with that with Atlas Shrugged, because it was the kind of movie that they had to like, it was a trilogy, 3 movies, but they were entirely recast every single time.
Wait, so it's the same main character in name, but
it's a different actor every time. They didn't have a single actor that was willing to reprise the roles. Not so much as a fucking background extra was willing to come back and redo their role.
Jesus Christ.
And there are a couple of like, oh, really? Not you, because like Robert Picardo is in one of them. It's like, he's actually kind of cool. Why are you in this? In case you didn't know, he's the doctor in Star Trek Voyager.
Haven't seen Star Trek Voyager.
Teller from Penn and Teller is in them.
Okay.
Is in one of them. And that's less of a and more of a yeah, that kind of tracks. But yeah, no, those are fun but stupid movies, but also kind of boring. And that's probably where the copyright would hit us. With the yeah, did he need the money? That's my thing. He was in the second one, but he was not in the third. So that's where I kind of can give him some grace, where it's like maybe he didn't know what he was signing on to. And then as soon as he figured it out, he was like, yeah, no, fuck that. I don't need the money that badly. So he didn't come back for the third one. And this is one of those things where like, if there's an actor that I kind of like, I never want to learn anything about their personal life ever, because as soon as I do, then it's like, it inevitably is like, oh, so they're a piece of shit and I can never enjoy anything they're in ever again. The exception to that is David Tennant. David Tennant is fucking amazing. He supports trans rights. He just seems to be a great person.
And you're reminding me that I still need to do that video on Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay, I don't know what that's about, and I'm not sure I want to know.
He did a sit down interview debate type thing with Ben Shapiro, and a lot of the whenever like anything about trans people came up, Neil deGrasse Tyson's exact response to Ben is just like, okay, but why do you care? Why does any of this matter to you? And Ben will do this whole like, it's because of science, it's because of truth, it's because, and he's just like, no. It's not, though. Science says that we report on what we observe. We observe people identifying as other genders. So that's not in question at all. What's in question is why the hell do you care?
If Mono Hill says, I want money. Yeah, you know what? If they pay me enough, I will be in an Atlas Shrugged movie. I forget who it is, but there is someone who is... Oh, you met David Tennant in March? Awesome. I wish I met him. I saw him live in New York when he was in Richard III, I think it was. And it was fantastic. I wish I want to meet David Tennant. He seems like a good guy. But yeah, no, I was afraid where you were going with that Neil deGrasse Tyson thing was like, oh, it turns out Neil is also kind of anti-trans.
No, he's literally as neutral as you could be on the trans question, in a way that supports trans people, because like that's what you should be. In reality, most people should be entirely neutral on the trans question.
Yeah, it should like, be. It's not me.
Why do you care?
So what does it matter? Someone got healthcare? Oh no.
Yeah, that's what it should be. That's what it should be 100% of the time for everybody on most of these things. You should be like, neutral.
I don't have strong opinions on knee surgery. If someone needs some knee surgery, just give them the fucking knee surgery. So, like, why would I have an issue with other healthcare surgeries?
Sarah Ticarita says, I just pissed on the moon, you idiot. Do you know how much I heard that quote this weekend while I was at the Sonic the Hedgehog convention? So fucking much. I could not stop hearing people quoting Eggman. I pissed on the moon, you idiot! Take that, Obama!
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's move on to the next tweet. Polling Canada says, do you think homeowners should be allowed to defend their homes? With a headline that says, man charged after allegedly assaulting home intruder in Lindsay, Ontario, police say. So Doug Ford is making a big issue of this because, you know, it's one of those things that right-wingers do. They'll bring up all the time. It's like, oh, somebody broke in and then the homeowner defended themselves and now the homeowner is being charged. And here's the thing. I see how that sounds ridiculous.
Where's the information that they're omitting?
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that I looked into this. They have not released any information as to exactly what happened. So, like, I can see an argument for, like, yeah, absolutely. Defend yourself in your home. I'm fine with that. I could see an argument where, like, if you have defended yourself in your home and the guy is now on the floor and asking for you to stop beating him and you continue beating him with a stick or something, like with a weapon, I could see that resulting in charge of assault. Like, if you go beyond was like, yeah, no, you call the police, you do what you need to do to defend yourself, but like being excessive about it when you don't need to be, I could absolutely see that resulting in charges, and that would be reasonable.
Okay. I'm in a weird spot on that. So for me, I'm of the opinion that once somebody has entered my home, they've made an attempt on my life. They've entered the home while I'm there. I don't care anymore after that point. I stop caring after that point.
But like, if they're on the floor unconscious and you continue beating them, like, you don't need to anymore.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't care.
So
but I could see an argument that is excessive.
So there's a thing that is taught in gun safety courses in the United States. How well this holds up, I do not know. But it is a thing that is taught. If somebody has entered your home, and this sounds horrible, but it is generally better to make them a corpse than leaving somebody up who can testify against you when they are the person who invaded your home. And when we are talking about, like, oh, if they're on the ground unconscious, the details of that are up to the witnesses. And at that point, the only witness is going to be you and the home invader. And if the home invader has a better lawyer, I guess you're fucked.
Yeah, okay. I can see both sides on this one. But, like, I don't know. This does seem like one of those things where they are making a big deal out of something that, like, when you get all the details, there's actually more to it than that.
Mm-hmm. Which that shit happens all the time.
Yeah. So, like, I'm not trusting that this is, like, the liar thing where, like, someone was, like, trying to break into someone's house, fell through the skylight, landed on a knife, and now they're suing them. Like, no, that's not how it works. But that's what they're making it out to be.
Mm.
But, yeah, no, that's... I'd just say, like, we need more information before we can say that this is actually the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. I can always agree with wanting more information.
It's also easy for us to, like, kind of pontificate from our positions of relative safety.
Yep.
As opposed to, like, if you're actually on the jury of the trial.
Yeah, it's a lot harder when there's somebody's life in the balance as opposed to when you're, you know, a dude
like
on the
whatever
internet
I say, it's not going to
psychoanalyzing it.
affect whether or not this person goes to jail.
But the jury, on the other hand...
It's literally their job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Donald Trump shows up. He says, any state that has built and relied on windmills and solar for power are seeing record-breaking increases in electricity and energy costs. The scam of the century. We will not approve wind or farmer destroying solar. We will not approve wind or farmer destroying solar. That sentence doesn't make sense. I mean, this whole thing doesn't make sense. The days of stupidity are over in the... No, they're not. No, they're fucking not, as long as you're in charge.
You're still the president.
Yeah, so interesting thing about this, like, yeah, green energy is expensive compared to not green energy. But that changes when you take the subsidies that not green energy receives out of the equation.
Yep.
So if the government, like, people from Europe, and even Canada, people from Canada, probably still today, I don't anymore, but I used to go to Buffalo for gas, because gas is cheaper in the States. Because y'all subsidize the fossil fuel industry more than anybody else, to the tune of something like, it's not exact and it depends on what you consider to be a subsidy, but it's anywhere between $10 and $50 billion per year goes to fossil fuel companies in subsidies. Take those away, and suddenly green energy looks a lot cheaper. And hey, as long as we're taking them away from the fossil fuel companies, why not give them to green energy? And then it gets even cheaper.
Unfortunately, we'd rather just do away with that shit for, I don't know, spiting Elon reasons. Like, that's a thing that our president is doing right now. He's just like, hey, EV incentives, let's get rid of those.
Yeah, but didn't he give Tesla an exception to that?
Did he?
I thought he did. I don't know. There was something about that we covered a few weeks ago. But yeah, no, like this, I know this is not exactly what they're talking about, but like, I have an electric vehicle and I have a gas vehicle. We drive the electric vehicle whenever possible, like, because electricity is so much fucking cheaper than gasoline. And I know that, like, one of the arguments that you'll, like, PragerU pulls this one out all the time, is like, oh, you're just charging your car using electricity that was generated with coal. It's like,
yeah,
well, first off, because of the efficiency of electric motors, if you were to charge your electric vehicle by running a gas generator, that would still use less gas than just driving with it would. Because electric motors are just that much more efficient than gas motors. But on top of that, I live in Ontario where, like, we don't use coal. Like, it's not 100% renewable, but the vast majority of our electricity is hydronuclear, which nuclear, aside from the emissions that result from building the plant itself, is zero emission. So a lot of people don't like considering nuclear green. I do. I consider nuclear to be a green energy source.
I mean, the only reason, I'm going to be honest, the only reason people don't consider nuclear green energy, truly the only reason, is because they're worried about a Chernobyl event happening.
Yeah,
that's literally all it is.
Which, with the advances in nuclear technology since Chernobyl, is not going to happen.
Like, the way that a nuclear energy plant works, in, like, the easiest way to explain it possible, it is steam powered.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. You put the rods in water, steam goes up, it hits turbines. That's how the energy is developed.
So the issue with nuclear is, how do you stop the chain reaction from causing a meltdown? And the problem with previous reactors was that they required electricity in order to activate the safety mechanisms. So if the electricity failed, then you wouldn't be able to activate the safety mechanisms, and you'd be more likely to get a runaway reaction like Chernobyl. But with the newer reactors, when the electricity fails, like, it requires a constant input of electricity in order to keep the reactor going. And when the electricity fails, then I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works, but, like, a failure of electricity will automatically engage the safeguard mechanisms in a way that does not require electricity to work. It's just a matter of the physics of how the thing is built. Nuclear is the greenness of energy. It glows green. Yeah, dead man switch. It's the equivalent of a dead man switch. Like, you have to be holding your thumb on the button in order for it to work, and then if you die, it doesn't go into meltdown. Your thumb's just not in the button anymore, so it just doesn't work anymore. It's been a long time since I've looked into exactly how the control rods drop and the reaction stop. Yeah, it's something about the control rods. I forget exactly. I don't know exactly the mechanism, but yeah, basically it's a failsafe that if the reactor stops working as intended, it just shuts down. It doesn't melt down, it shuts down. And that's the new reactors. Like, a lot of the reactors that we still have going are the older reactors, but even they are significantly safer than the ones run by Soviet Russia. Surprise, surprise. Like, if you actually follow all the safety protocols, even those reactors are immensely safe. So, yeah, and the Doramo 10 with the pedantry again, it actually glows Cherenkov blue. So, are you aware of the Citation Needed podcast?
No.
So, the premise of the podcast is we read a single article on Wikipedia and then pretend we're experts, because this is the internet and that's how it works now. So that's kind of the joke, is that they're not an informative podcast. They're just telling fun stories based on Wikipedia articles, and sometimes, like, depending on who's doing the essay, it's usually true stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I would never cite them as a source for anything, because they're just a bunch of people trying to be funny and entertain you. A recurring theme in their essays is a bunch of people find radioactive shit that glows, and then they, like, smear it all over their bodies and then die of radiation sickness. So it's like, now, if you find a random thing that glows, just leave it alone. Especially if you had to, like, bust apart a bunch of medical equipment to get to it. Because that was one. It's like somebody took apart an x-ray machine, and they found some blue glowing stuff, and then they turned it into sparkle dust powder that they sprinkled on their kid.
And their kid's dead.
No, their kid actually survived, but had to go to the hospital. But,
are you implying that Dear Leader isn't perfect? Says Ninjast.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Back to the tweet. If you stop subsidizing oil and gas and fossil fuels, then green energy is a lot cheaper. And if you move those subsidies to green energy, it becomes even more cheaper. So, yeah.
Yay.
Frank Turek. It's been a while since we've seen him on here, I think. Says, why do atheists and agnostics tend to criticize Christianity more than other religions?
Because that's the one we live near.
I mean,
that's the reason. Like, that is literally all the fuck it is.
Yeah, well, there is more to it than that. But like when I see this tweet, my first thought is, well, that's a very American-centric view, because I'm pretty sure the atheists that live in India probably spend more time talking about Hinduism. The atheists
Also, the other reason is that if we're in the States, it's not just the proximity of Christianity to us, it's the fact that Christianity is actively, as a religion, trying to seep its way into educational establishments.
Yeah, it's not the Muslims trying to put the Ten Commandments in schools. It's not the Jews trying to put Ten Commandments in schools. It's not the Hindus trying to put the Ten Commandments in schools. So who is it that we need to talk about? Who is it that is doing their best to try and drive out every other religion or lack of religion? Those are the ones that we need to talk about. Why is this a question that needs asking in this day and age?
Because pontificating on it makes people go, that's very interesting.
Well, I mean, Frank's account is basically just engagement baiting. Like, it's 100% of his account at this point. And we're going to finish on a Wendell.
I don't want to finish Wendell.
We always finish on Wendell. Atheism lacks objective meaning, often leading to existential emptiness. You know, the question people ask, what is the point of it all? However, Christianity offers hope through God's eternal purpose. So, I get to choose my own purpose is apparently not better than your purpose is to suck God's dick and nothing else.
I don't like Wendell. Okay, so here's the thing.
Wendell.
Here's the thing. We actually had a conversation on stream yesterday about the societal script.
Sorry to interrupt, but Mark Fernkoff says pontificating on it makes people go,
ooh. I would rather you not, and you can suck a dick. Anyway.
I can suck a dick.
You can. Sure thing. Sure, you can do that, buddy. So can I. I'm just going to go into the other room to do it. Anyway. So. Here's the thing. There are people, and there's nothing wrong with people having this opinion. There are people who prefer having the societal script. Now, there were a few people in my audience who didn't know what that was when I was talking about it yesterday, so we went over it really quickly. I'll do it again here. The societal script is the idea that based on a set of circumstances, your life should turn out a certain way. If you're a guy, you're going to be a provider. If you're a girl, you're going to be a nurturer. If you go to college, you're going to get a good job. These are all bits of the societal script. Now, the problem with the societal script is largely that it's not true.
It's a fiction.
Yeah, it's a fiction that people... God damn it, Hellbound Hillbilly, I swear to fucking God. Ooh, woo. There, you got your thing.
Love you, Hellbound Hillbilly.
The problem with it is that it is a fiction, but the thing with its fiction is it is not meant to be an absolute truth. It is meant to be a script one can follow. There's a lot of people who aren't very good at following that script, and there's a lot of people that script won't work for, but there's plenty of people who find a lot of comfort in that script, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that.
Comfort.
I did say comfort, and there's a ray of hope in that thought.
I see what you did there.
But Much like how there's nothing wrong with somebody wanting to follow the societal script, if that's what they're comfortable with, there's nothing wrong with somebody not wanting to follow the societal script. So when Wendell sits here and does his, well, atheism doesn't give you an existential meaning. Okay, cool. That's not a thing it's supposed to do. That's not a thing in its utility belt. It doesn't matter that it doesn't. That is not one of its jobs. It's the answer to a question. Do you believe in a deity? Thing is, Christianity also doesn't give you a script for your life either. You know who does? The pastor who stitches the fucking verses together and tries to make something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The religion didn't fucking do it. The guy who's telling you the right way to live your life, quote, quote, is the person who's actually doing that at the end of the day. So, Wendell, shut the fuck up. You're wrong. There are just as many people who have lost their purpose in life attempting to follow Christianity as there are people who've tried to follow it as if it is a societal script. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Amen, Cyrus. Thank you for providing me with that script. That will be my purpose in life from now on.
So what you're saying is we're going to play some Magic the Gathering.
Not tonight.
If I'm providing the script, then fucking I'm writing in a game of Magic.
No, it's too late to start a game of Magic. I'm going to bed after this.
It's like when you're fighting fucking Sorceress Adele Sorceress Adia in Final Fantasy VIII, and after you kick her ass, you go to her house and you're like, "You want to play trading cards?" And she says yes.
Okay.
That perfect.
I've never played that game.
You never played 8? Did you only play 7?
I did only play 7. It's me, Cyrus. It is
you
me.
You found
I'm
your
the problem.
game.
It's me.
God damn it.
Because you're the sexy baby. Stoff, don't do it, Stoff. Don't you dare.
My God.
I'm sorry for what I might have just done.
I don't think Stoff would stoop that low.
Okay, let's hope so.
Stoff has standards.
I mean, there are adults that do baby play. Just saying.
You're right. And for the adults that would like to do baby play, they can go to ddlgplayground.com and they can use coupon code Cyrus and they can get whatever the fuck they want for that. That's their business.
Okay. Yeah. Just no art stuff. No,
you
not that
opened
one.
the door wide for that.
No, I realized that immediately after I said it, but it was too late at that point.
It was way too late for that.
Oh my God. Okay. On that note, fuck off. Maybe I'll raid someone. Are you streaming after this?
I'm going to be streaming some Donkey Kong 64 still after this.
I will raid Cyrus for some Donkey Kong 64. See you later. Yep. Zerg Jerk says the back door is wide open now.
Yeah, that's what the Astroglide was for.
Yeah. All right. Bye.